Two of our veterans in Rotterdam and DMusliM are the pros.
My name is Lowko. I'm joined together by none other than Sir Tobi. How are you
If we
doing
go
today,
back
Tobi?
to
Very, very good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm really
The source?
excited. We're going to be casting the very first tournament for Iron Harvest, which is going to be a blast.
Exciting!
Yeah, you're excited?
It was a super long way, and now we are here today, 1 week before release. That's a big thing, and today we will see some great matches, I hope.
Yeah. So like you already pointed out, it is indeed going to be the pre-season, which means that we are just a little bit before the actual release of the game, which, yeah, I'm really excited for. I mean, obviously the strategies, people have been playing them for a little while, but maybe we will be seeing some surprises in this tournament. I mean, are you expecting any specific changes compared to like the qualifiers?
Well, I really hope so, actually. I'm always the fan of the underdog, so fingers crossed for the underdogs who made it through the qualifiers. So as you said, we had the qualifiers the weeks before. So we have 4 people who went through the mud and trenches of Iron Harvest, and they will fight
Literally.
pros. Yes.
Literally through the mud and trenches, yeah.
Very you know that because you are a pro as well. And they will fight the pros today, tomorrow, and on Sunday we have the finals, and this will be very big. And I hope we have some surprise. I don't know yet. We'll see.
Yeah.
Get each other surprised.
Yeah, so other than the 4 people that actually went through the qualifiers and had to work really hard, we also have a couple of guys from the RTS scene that a lot of you are probably familiar with. They're very well known in both the StarCraft as well as the Warcraft universe. Maybe we can get the brackets up on the screen or the groups so we can have a quick look at who is participating.
oh yeah, we got brackets.
I believe we can, but we're just getting things underway
I got
right
you
now.
guys.
Okay, there we go.
Harvesters and welcome
All right,
to
so
the
there's
first
gonna be
ever
going through
ESL
group
playoffs
A.
of Iron.
There you go.
Now, some of those names are very, very familiar to me, especially Rotterdam and DMusliM in Group A. I heard you're much more familiar with Jdanzi and WellPlayed.
Exactly.
That's gonna be today's
Well
groups.
played. Our friend from Russia, which is pretty fine. I'm really looking forward if which faction if he's is he going to pick, if he's going with the Russwit or if he. Right now with the meta, people say that the Saxonies are the best. Who knows? We'll see about that. But yeah, it's cool to have community guys follow as well and play as well.
Yeah, so Jdanzi and WellPlayed had to make it through the qualifiers. The qualifiers actually had more than 100 people signed up, which is really cool. And I believe you just mentioned Jdanzi went undefeated?
Yeah. You had to go undefeated to get through the qualifiers, and it was pretty cool because you had, as you said, in average 80 to 90 people per qualifier round, and you had to have 7 wins to actually get here today, and that's a pretty big thing.
Yeah.
Especially if you consider that the level of most of the players is relatively the same, as that's a new game, esports for the first time. And we have equal odds, and that's interesting. And yeah, Jdanzi and WellPlayed made it with a 7-win streak, and that's cool.
That's really impressive, yeah.
Very.
So I'm personally really excited to see how well Rotterdam and DMusliM do in this very first group. I mean, some of you might be familiar with them, or maybe most of you are going to be familiar with them. But Rotterdam, of course, a long-time RTS pro. He's been casting StarCraft 2 for like the last, give or take, 10 years. He's been casting for a very long time. And you can actually see on his Twitch channel, there's like a list of events that he's casted, and I believe it's like 200 or something. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's a list that's scrollable. It's a lot.
Email me later, because today is my first time casting, and you need to carry me through that stream, through that tournament. So we'll see about that. Fingers crossed that I don't F anything up. So let's
maybe in 10 years you have 200 as well, man.
when I be a big
He
guy
said email
and,
me, but did the phone
finally
sign?
start to become
Hello,
a pro
Toby?
caster.
You good?
Yeah. I'm excited to figure out
Whose arm was that,
how
though?
well Rotterdam and DMusliM are going to do. So Rotterdam, like I said, I mean, he cast the game, but he's
Wholesome.
actually also like, I think the highest ranked StarCraft 2 caster in the game. So he's like easily top 100 Europe.
Yo, do I need a
Sometimes much
headset like
higher.
that
And
to be
DMusliM,
official?
he's actually one of the highest ranked Warcraft 3 professionals and also one of the highest ranked Terran players in StarCraft 2 in Europe. So I'm excited to see how well they're going to do against
Sounds
these
like
two guys.
someone who's familiar with RTS.
What's up,
I guess.
Primo?
Dude, yeah, exactly. So
But let's see how
What's up,
those
Julian?
guys who are famous
Oh,
for like RTS.
Yo, you playing tomorrow?
Living with that, how they do against the regulars, community guys who try and do their best. I'm really looking forward to see how the matches will play out.
I hear
Yeah.
the game.
So, as far as I know, we just have to push the ready button, and then we start with match 1 with this, which is Jdanzi.
Come on, boys, the game started.
Yeah.
And Barbecue Man.
Yeah, his nickname, DMusliM's nickname in game is Barbecue Man. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but
Hello?
He surely knows what he's doing because Barbecue Man sounds like a friendly dude. So
They're playing. I can hear audio.
now you mentioned it as well right before we started. There's for the first place prize. There's $2,500 on the line.
the game.
It's pretty pretty legitimate for a tournament of a beta game.
How many accounts on Twitter
could
do I need
imagine
to
some
tweet
stuff
Lowko
to
get
do
him
with
to play together on YouTube?
2,500.
We might in the future.
Got all the numbers. You know, math is
I'm
not
talking to
the
him
strongest
on
part.
the DMs. Don't worry.
But yeah,
they're glorious.
we are almost in there, and I can see Jdanzi is going with Polania, supposed to be the weakest.
They're
say.
casting the game.
And Barbecue Man goes with the Saxonians, which after all those patches and updates and meta balancing things are now supposed to be the best ones. Who knows?
Okay.
So we'll see how this turns out.
Yeah, so both of them have actually picked up some early game reserves as
yeah.
well. But we'll go over all of the basics.
Somebody
of the game
tell
as soon
them.
as the game actually loads up. Because I can imagine a lot of you are watching this for the very first time, or maybe you've seen a couple rounds here and there. It will probably be helpful if we go over the very basics as the game starts.
Jdanzi makes me happy. Today I picked Jdanzi.
Polania
That's for
shirt.
you with the Polanians. You can do that.
Were you hiding that all day?
I believe in you.
For
I
this
didn't know
moment?
that.
For
I
this
really
moment?
didn't know that he's picking Polania, so that makes me happy. That on point, I dressed up. I have all the 2 other T-shirts there as well.
Right,
just
so
like,
I'm actually
Putting out
confused.
the other one.
Between, yeah. If he all of a sudden disappears off camera, we know what's going on.
Exactly. Good thing that they. Yeah, I have the Saxonian undies. That's what you see.
Okay, yes, that's going to be for tomorrow, Sunday, when we play the finals. But here we go. We're actually in the very first
We're
game
in it, boys.
of this tournament. Shall we get started by introducing the players?
I'll let them take
So,
the beginning.
Which players? The players or the units players?
I might
I
just
think we
leave
should
them on.
probably get started by introducing who actually spawned where. Now, all right, we can already see right there in the bottom left, or I guess this is the bottom section of the map. We have none other than Jdanzi, who's now already running on over to watch some of those resources that he can gather.
Oh,
And in the
nice.
meantime,
They
his
have
opponent,
spectator
playing
mode
with the red
going.
colors, is DMusliM.
Let me just drop in again. Very important
Stalling for
disclaimer
delay,
that
yeah.
we are still in pre-season beta. So what you can see here is close to finish, but
Don't
still
get to
not
see the
finished.
reserves
So there
though,
might
yeah.
be hiccups here and there, and we actually
Colors are
kind of
confusing a little
prepared
bit.
the spectator mode this morning, but don't
It's
tell
okay,
anyone,
man.
right?
It's all right.
So it will be great, and they're already spreading out. I see.
Yeah.
Another thing, we don't know who's who. So Barbecue Man is red, who's playing Saxony.
All of your stuff, doesn't really matter what it is, whether or not...
I'm gonna lower them a little bit, so for the ones that know how to play this game already. Jdanzi's gonna be playing Polania, and DMusliM is playing Saxony. Right, so you can probably expect Polania reserves to rush. I hear audio for some reason still, and I don't like it. I'm gonna delete that.
Well,
Dude,
this mine right
where's the
here.
audio come from?
I can see that Jdanzi.
Hold up, boys. It's this.
Barbecue Man, so you can see that he's picking even mines that are
Yeah,
not supposed to
got
be
it.
on his side on the map, so that's pretty
We good.
interesting.
Yeah, so
All right, game one,
you can already
boys.
see a little bit of fighting right here between the two. As Barbecue Man decided to actually grab one of the cannons that's out on the battlefield. Now, I like this little move. Going in from the back, making sure that he can't really get a proper hit in.
Audio
because
okay?
This
Give me an
structure
audio
is-
check.
Unit over here, yeah, it's difficult to get it.
I already wiped that squad.
Killed the crew manning the gun, and he could take it, but he didn't.
Good audio,
decide to,
thank you.
so- But the AT guns are pretty much when you
Alright,
have
so
the giant
if you
mechs,
looked at the headquarters,
stomping towards
Jdanzi is
your,
running Anna and
base,
2
then the
Strashniks
AT guns
actually.
are pretty much your last resort.
We don't know what DMusliM is running
currently
yet.
both players have just the basic units, right?
Early cheese,
Generally
yeah.
speaking, in the earlier stages of this game,
ESL
we see
audio
a lot
a bit
of
too low.
riflemen, as
Gotcha.
both players are just simply trying to capture points. You need to dedicate some of your infantry units to capture some of those locations as well. But as they build up their resources, they can start building obviously stronger and more powerful units. Now, obviously, that comes at a cost as well, because they
Yeah, we
can't
trained them
capture
up.
any
We
points.
trained
So if you have a
Lowko
mech
up this
out, you
week.
can't capture any of those locations. Man, there's a melee fight going on right over here with a couple of guys joining with guns as
2
well.
riflemen versus 1
Can they
sax
shoot their
trooper.
allies?
Well, I had that question already
Complete map
today, but
control.
do you know in RTS
For
where you can
Jdanzi.
shoot your own, like, you can
You can
sacrifice
try,
them.
yeah,
You can sacrifice and you can try, but
Also, they're zoomed in too
yeah,
much.
no, there's no friendly fire like that. So, however, you can since you can build defensive structures like barbed wires and sand sacks and stuff, which are important to bunker behind, you can destroy them your own accidentally by walking through with a giant mech. Just ignore whatever is in his way, and then, yeah, there goes your sand sacks.
Now, real quick as well, it will probably be helpful to point out what the win conditions in the game are. So there are 2 ways in which you can obtain a victory. It's got to be careful, actually. First off, you can destroy your opponent's headquarters. So if you end up destroying your opponent's main structure, you end up winning the game. Or you can gather points. Now, the top section of the screen, you can see the amount of points that are currently available. Both players have 0, but if they manage to build that up to 500 throughout this game, they'll be able to obtain the victory that way, too. Which of the 2 do you
Look at the map control for Jdanzi, though.
That's a good question.
Oh my god!
Victory points are
they're not even going for BP flags.
Winning condition.
Is that Lowko?
Yes. Usually the matches
Lowko.
take around 15 to 30 minutes, no matter
Did
what
we see
the
a
quality of
reserve?
the player is. Because the victory points will
2 Strashniks and Anna.
Personally, I don't know. I have a bit more fun with destroying the HQ, so ignoring the victory points. But of course, that's yeah, everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone prefers something different.
The Iron Harvest veterancy is showing here for
Jdanzi right now actually has taken control of most of the map, so you can follow along on the mini-map as well. Roughly what location on the map is whose. And all of the ones in blue are Jdanzi's. The Muslim is very, very quickly losing terrain. And that's going to cost him resources and in the long run, units then as well.
What you can see here on the screen
He's
is pretty interesting. The Polanians are, as I said earlier, not the strongest
spectator mode is great,
faction
actually.
per se. However, what they excel in is range and speed. And it was pretty nice to see right now that
it's clean. It works.
The Barbecue Man's unit
says
was not
GG.
able to actually fight back.
DMusliM puts in the word of GG.
Further away, they can shoot from far distance.
The first reserve hasn't even been called out yet.
Blink
oh my god!
So there you go. That's a very, very quick game number 1 there.
That was.
I think we now know how Jdanzi got undefeated in the qualifier.
Yeah, Jdanzi, he knows what he does. Jdanzi is a great player. He is also known for, of course, way more RTSs than that. So he knows what he's doing.
Well, obviously, Jdanzi pushed through the qualifier by abusing the Rusviet meta because that was qualifier number 1 a couple weeks ago, but we're not going to get into that, shall we?
The upper hand and the resources is super important because you just overrun the opponent with
my blink?
material, and that's it.
Yeah. I think one really important thing when it comes to RTS games, right, especially if you're trying to make a competitive one, is to make sure that it's skill-based.
Hey, Jdanzi made it.
And I think in this very first game, it's very obvious that it is just simply skill-based, right? Like if you manage to capture certain locations faster and you set up surrounds better, I mean, you could see Jdanzi there coming in from the side with multiple engagements constantly. It's game over very fast.
Very fast. Jdanzi, congratulations. Match 1, we have a winner. But it's a group stage, so we'll see how this turns out in the end. And we will follow very soon with match number 2.
Yeah, so the tournament format we're playing is that we're running 4-man groups like you saw earlier. The winners of each of the 2 games, so first off we had Jdanzi versus the Muslim, and then right now we have another set of 2 players coming up. The winners of these 2 games will go up against each other. And that player that ends up winning that game is obviously going to move on to the next round of the tournament. However, the losers will also get a second chance to go through the game once again. So, we got a whole bunch of games going for you today. I'm excited to see, man, how these games are going to go. I secretly hope to see Rotterdam versus the Muslim, just because I know those 2 guys very well, and it's just going to be fun to see it duke them out. But
yeah, well, we'll see how Rotterdam does now. So no one knows how much they actually train at home. So let's see how they do.
WellplayedTV next.
I'm
so
also very excited to
WellPlayed.
see those 2 fighting each other. Because again, if we have the same kind of skill level fighting each other, that makes the matches, of course, way more interesting. And no matter what game you play,
Unleash
it's
the
always
dark side.
the closer the opponents are to each other, the better the match usually.
Rotterdam and Muslim will be the funniest match ever because it's just 2 people that don't know how to play the game yet.
OP right now. So
next map is next game is Oil Spill, by the way.
Exactly.
Nice.
No chance, unfortunately.
Now, believe it or not, there are really big mechs in this game, okay? I've been playing for a little while myself. While we only saw the infantry units for the time being, which, you know, is obviously part of the game as well, there are really, really big machines that just cost a lot of money. And generally speaking, if it's a more even game, obviously those resources will build up. I mean, one thing that we didn't actually get to point out yet is the fact that you can also upgrade your resource structures. So for example, the iron mine or the oil, they can be upgraded to gather more resources, and therefore, over the course of a game, bigger machines can be made as well. well. Sadly, didn't come into play just yet, but maybe this next game is gonna have that option.
We'll see, but that's a very
Wheelchair
good point
Mafia.
you just said,
Love that name.
because
Thanks for
what
following,
I
dude.
saw, especially in this tournament right now, where the environment is way more competitive, it seems like
Lowko
that the
throwing
early
shade.
game is currently, with the current meta and so on, the deciding factor. So who starts good usually wins the game right now as we speak. Again, that's a beta. Again, we are still collecting feedback. We're tweaking the numbers. We want to have the big mechs in the matches, in the games, of course, because the game is about big mechs, right? But right now we didn't see a single one. What I saw though in other competitive matches was that the players rely on their reserves. So they are putting big mechs in reserve number 2. We will maybe see that again. And
we'll definitely see it against like WellPlayed and Jdanzi.
Play or try to decide the game with those reserve mechs only.
Yeah, so we didn't actually go over the
For
reserves
players that know
yet
what they're
either.
doing.
So at the start of the game, both players
Thank you for the
get
follow.
to choose
Herbie,
2 sets of
what's up, man?
reserves, right? Or they can choose to put all of their points in just one of the reserves and, you know, start off the game that way. Long story short, you can basically call in a bunch of reinforcements at certain moments in the game. So if you put them in reserve number 1, you get some early game heroes and some early game mechs potentially as well, or just infantry units too. If you put them in reserve number 2, usually that seems to dictate a more long-term approach in the game.
And what I just said, we see that right now Rotterdam and Trojan both took the Polania sides, and they both took Hero Anna, and they both took 2 mechs in the reserves. So they are pushing for early Stražniks, anti-infantry mechs. And
I like your pronunciation, man. That was great.
Yeah, man, right?
There you go.
I learned a bit.
I'm not even going to try, dude. I'm not even going to try. Alrighty, so here we go. Game number 2 of the tournament.
All right, boys and girls.
In the bottom section of the map
Polania,
right here, we are looking at none other than, well, it's going to show up. I think it should, right?
Hover over the
There you go. We have
Rotterdam's playing
and his
Polania.
opponent. Playing in the red colors.
Against Polania.
Goes by the name of
WellplayedTV.
Now, I actually was watching some of WellPlayed stream. This guy is fast.
He is, and he just did a mistake, I'm sure. So he is calling for retreat, a unit.
What?
A little bit of nerf, maybe.
Yeah, who knows what he just did.
What happened, buddy?
Probably misclicked, because what we can see right now on screen is the
Oroshi.
feature function. That's very important actually when you play against someone, because at a certain moment you
2
can
Iron
push
Mines
the R
for
button,
Rotterdam
call
versus
units to
1
retreat,
Iron Mine
and they will run back to their
for
HQ
WellplayedTV.
or barracks or whatever, and there you can insta heal them
WellPlayed's gonna
with
sell his
clicking
barracks
R
again.
So you have to wait for the right moment. Don't call them back too early. Don't wait for too long.
So one big point to point out is that once you click the retreat button, you can't cancel it.
That is
You
the
have
downside.
Rotterdam with Anna
so that's
and
what happened
Stražnik.
right there. He ended up retreating some of these dudes. They ran back to the HQ, and, well, he lost
They definitely need to show the
30 seconds
reserves
there.
in the beginning of the
Let's hope that
game.
this won't break his neck.
Now, I actually was watching Rotterdam stream
Mirror
just now.
matchup.
He was actually streaming this right before we got started today. He mentioned, okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab some food after playing a couple games. I'm ready. He was actually in a call with someone. I don't know exactly who it was because I tuned in a little bit late, but he did get some useful tips. So I'm pretty sure he has at least like a plan. You know,
That was probably the
he's got
mix
something
you all
in store.
talking about. I like the fog of war forecasting.
Well,
Yeah,
that's good. Training
It's
right
smooth,
before the exam is
it's not jittery.
That's what I did
with the
all
good
throughout
advice.
university, man. It worked
was
just
mixed.
fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
works just fine. So far, so good. So you were talking about the oil pump, so of course, and the iron mine. So that's of course something people do very quickly. However, another way
first engagement
to get resources is what WellPlayed currently does in the corner of
WellPlayed
the
doesn't
map.
cover,
So
though.
he's going for the crates. Those crates don't respawn; they are there just once, and the player who gets there first gets the resources. It's pretty hefty, 60
WellPlayed's taking
iron
it
and
home.
stuff. So you
I hope so. I
should
hope all
not
the
neglect
veterans
that.
go through, man.
And yeah, so one of the
2v1,
tactics might
but here we have
be to
grenades.
go for crates
You can
first.
burst one down. The grenade's
Alrighty,
gonna come
so
out.
here we go.
Watch,
Now
there it
we
is.
have Rotterdam pushing into
No
this
micro.
iron mine right over
No
here
micro.
with 2 of his troops. There is a grenade
Nice.
over on the ground. That one was thrown right
What do you
there
need to do here?
by-
That one rifleman needs to go in
I guess he
melee,
goes in the game,
while the other one
under
just
the
gets him
name
covered. But
Trojan.
Rotterdam doesn't
Trojan. Okay, yeah. of
take
course.
advantage of
It's,
that.
Russian pronunciation.
Neither is he going to
Who
retreat
knows?
his
But
rifleman.
we all talk about the same guy. It's well played. Let's hope it's well played. Who knows? Maybe it's just
It's
a random
okay.
dude.
Hurts to
So
see.
our streaming said, how about I win those
First
two
casualty of the game,
half-hours?
Polania rifleman for Rotterdam.
So far, so good, though. I mean, well, we do have a bit of a melee fight over here as well.
Very good tactic. So when you have a potentially weaker unit like engineers or medics, send them into melee, because that's a way how you actually can win a fight
They need
against
to
a
zoom
strong
out.
unit. especially when you have a
close.
second unit somewhere waiting around, because they will occupy those.
Ooh.
Oh.
We do have a couple of the
Nice
flamethrowers coming
counter
up
for
right
the
now.
infantry.
Now. Surprise, surprise, they're really good against
Flammenwerfer.
infantry.
Oh, look at that one. That one guy was like, hey,
Bring the
I'm not done.
Flammenwerfer, But we have only Polanians here.
Flammenwerfer. Oh, there
Yeah.
you go. That's the German word. The Dutch word is Flammenwerfer. So.
Flammenwerfer.
It's a
Flammenwerfer.
little more aggressive sounding.
But we saw a nice Fuhrball, Jung.
Oh, Führball, Junge. Yeah, there you go.
She's really
There you
good.
go.
Very responsive
Dude,
fires.
I have to train my Dutch skills.
Now,
majority map
we see
control.
a very
well
similar
played.
situation as we just saw in the previous game as well. Despite the start that Wellplayed had, he is slowly taking control of the majority of the map, right? So you can see all of the red markers on the map. This
GG
one, for
incoming.
example, is a big iron mine as well. This one is going to give him even more resources.
It's
He's
hard to
slowly
cast
grabbing
over
as many of
casters.
those resource nodes as he can, and obviously, well, that will allow
It's
him to
almost
produce
over.
way more units.
It's interesting that he upgraded the iron mine
Seems
and not
even
the
this
oil
game?
pump, so
Our
he's
one is
actually
coming
really
up,
pushing
yeah.
for infantry.
For sure.
Iron is like the main currency for pretty much everything, but mainly for infantry.
Metacast.
And oil is something you desperately need for huge mechs. Yeah, and of course
Stealing
they're super
big oil
expensive.
pumps already.
So here's the big oil pump being captured by Rotterdam. He had to spend resources to upgrade the regular oil pump into a big oil pump, which is great if you can hold it, right?
Exactly.
If you end up losing it, well, you're gonna obviously lose those resources as well. And while you can obviously capture it back later as well or destroy it.
So tell me
This
this
is,
strats Tobi and Simon using the cast.
Almost a repeat from the previous
So what they're
game.
doing,
Almost.
which is really good,
That's why it's very dangerous to.
they're casting the game for beginners,
Well,
which is
that's
a great
dangerous
idea,
to
right?
upgrade
They're
mines that are
introducing
far
every
away
single
from
element of the
your
game.
headquarters,
They're
because
explaining what works, what
as you
doesn't
said,
work,
the
what you
opponent
shouldn't
can
do, kind of.
take it or deflag it, and once it's
While
deflagged, it won't give resources.
I
to
would
anyone,
cast
and
more as an experienced
you don't
player,
want that, of
which
course.
wouldn't be as
Money
helpful,
and then
but
not
in the future it will. So
this is the
them
vision
breaking
right
down
now
every
of
single aspect
Rotterdam.
as a tutorial almost is really helpful to the new players watching.
Oh, Fogelward dictates how far he
What's
can
going on,
actually
Raven
see,
King?
and there's really not that much for him anymore. Yeah, he's tightening the noose right now, right? Like, well played. He's just moving in for the kill at this point.
We're not
Just
even going
rushing
for
with
flags.
infantry units, getting himself as much iron out as possible. You can see the amount of
Well
troops
played
are at the
TV is a
bottom.
problem.
It's a little bit more than what Roddy has.
Very late decision of barracks. So wow, he's wow.
He's just now making it, yeah. And well, this is the first time I see this happen.
I don't think the tips from
units
Mixon helped
actually
them
end up
much,
killing
boys.
The guys that are producing the barracks.
that is. I think that's a GG here. We'll see if we. Well, even if
The entire map is red.
Can you change into
Like
the other one?
it's
What's
painted
his
in blood.
resources doing?
It's
Oh,
over.
He's sitting on a ton of iron. That was a huge mistake. He should have spent it into units.
I think he's been saving up to get the reserve going.
Yeah,
right?
but
So
will he-
he's
Oh,
will
the
he-
Strashnik is
now.
gonna come out.
Yeah.
He do it in, well, 2 Strashniks is a big thing, but he lost the entire.
Is this
he lost
enough?
all the
No,
production
right? I
buildings,
mean,
all
you're
the,
so behind.
resource buildings, I mean.
Well played is
Well, he's going to be able
is
to get
out
2
for
mechs
sure.
out, and then also his hero. The hero is extremely powerful too, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, there's no way.
She's going to be able to level up too and gain additional abilities as the game progresses. The thing is that I'm not entirely sure if we're going to get there. Well, he's
Dude,
going to be able
this
to
is
get the
gone.
units out, so let's
It's
see if he can at the
GG.
very least push this back. There we go.
Ooh,
Nate
that
came
was
out,
last minute.
Strashnik's out. Okay.
And there, he's retreating.
Yeah.
Can we regain
Interesting.
map
Or at least
control?
only one unit is retreating. But they are retreating.
Oh, the Schmiau!
Oh, there you go. Anti-tank, Smiali. The right answer for the Strashniks.
Yeah, they're so
Interesting.
fast as well, right? They
See,
just run away.
Well-played
very, very
TV
easily.
rushed
Gotta
the
be
workshop.
aiming with that retreat. Now, maybe Roddy can start grabbing back some of those resource nodes. He desperately needs it, but like we pointed out earlier already, you actually need to have infantry units available to cap any of these, right? You can have a couple of mechs out, and that's great. You can technically also capture it with
Remember,
your hero,
multiple
which is
riflemen
decent,
actually
but that's gonna
counter the
cost a lot of time.
Strashnik,
And that's
surprisingly. We've
also
seen this
not
happen
well spent
in
resources.
previous
The hero
qualifiers.
must be in the
Look
front
at the
line.
Strashnik
The
taking
hero
all that
needs to
damage.
use the
Kind of
special
just
abilities.
throwing himself into
And
loop,
we
and then
can
the
see that
Schmiau
just
steps up and says,
decided to
hello,
pull
sucker, and then it's
there you go.
gone.
First Strashnik down, first mech down. That looks really, really bad.
Oh,
Let's see
good.
if we... Oh, there you go. Well played.
Yeah.
Well,
Seven
he played well.
Well, we saw a
Obviously.
mirror, right? We saw a mirror. Both players picking up the exact same reserves.
Yo,
They
moderators, why
technically
did King
speaking, have
Art
the exact
Games
same chances at the
get
start of the game.
muted?
The only problem right now for Rotterdam is, well, more stuff, believe it or not, beats less stuff.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
Even
Oh.
if unit counters are not to be considered. I mean,
That Schmiau is going to
Way
do so much
more.
work.
His start wasn't
Oh,
that bad,
and a
actually.
shot,
I-
too.
I have to rewatch
Rip.
the match and see where the point was where things went. Oh no,
King
retreat! You cannot do that.
Yikes.
You
Yeah.
cannot do that.
So the mechs take bonus damage when they
Of
get hit
course.
from the back.
You cannot do that.
So that unit ends up going down.
There
as well,
comes
like you pointed out already.
well-played Strashniks
The
now.
walking mech, the bipedal one. Well, most
Nice
of them are
Anna
bipedal,
shot.
I suppose, but he's very fast.
Failing Anna. This is
In the early days when we
top
were in
10 anime
alphas and
betrayals.
so on, there was an interesting tactic because they are so fast and they
Okay,
were
Lynx,
kind
that's
of
fine.
boosted back in the days. You could do something
GG.
that was called Smiali Rush. Build
GG,
2 or
boys.
3 of them, outrun the opponent and just destroy the HQ. Yeah,
My
not
water
working
timing skills
anymore.
are terrible.
Well played. Well played. So
Yeah, well played. Very
Congrats,
quick game
Troyan.
one there by him. That does mean, though, that we get obviously both winners facing off against each other, which I think should probably
worry
make for a
about
bit
that.
more of a close match. Plus, we get the Muslim versus Roddy, which I'm actually excited
you
for.
said that in a very nice way.
Yeah.
No, it was this one was a tad closer, even though we saw an early mistake of well played.
With that being said,
it will be interesting to see, or it would be interesting to see what would have happened if he would pull that mistake against Jdanzi. Because it can.
That's pretty much game over, I can imagine, right? That's so much.
Well, who knows? Well,
I mean, you would
might
start with
be.
half your troops 30 seconds.
the groups right now, as of off of that game itself, is going to be WellplayedTV versus Jdanzi himself. Now I wanted to update this stuff if we can check it out. They are obviously getting the game ready right now. But this is the game that we've actually been waiting for. I've never seen a Jdanzi WellplayedTV game. We might actually see a really, really good game, depending on what the meta picks are here. Are we going to switch it up from Polania, or are we going to go into Res 2s for them? Maybe Saxony is going to be played. Rusviets is a possibility as well, if we go early game. Where's Zyron? Zyron's going to be playing tomorrow. Where in the hell and did I put this? There you go. They got knocked out. So that's it. So Muslim and Rotterdam are gonna go into the loser brackets, or the lower bracket. And Jdanzi, obviously, WellplayedTV, fighting to go to the finals, which is gonna be Sunday. Yeah, tomorrow we're gonna have right here. This is tomorrow. I don't know who's playing who yet, but that's group 2 for tomorrow on Saturday. And then we have group C, which is gonna be the loser bracket, which obviously we're gonna have the Muslim and Roda in there. Cool.
Here in the map, though, if we now look at the top right corner, that is an area that has 2 small bridges.
I don't think they can.
Oh, we cannot see that. So
I know what you're
later-
talking about, though. I tried moving a tour across that.
Exactly.
Didn't work.
So the map is different, and that's the funny part. So you now have to move your big max to, depends on which side you are, but let's say you're on to the left side.
The
and
logo?
infantry
I'll tell
can
you
go
in
on
the
the right
Discord.
side. So now this will be interesting to see which way the players go.
Why is King
That will be cool.
permanently?
I'm looking forward. And what's also special is we have the anti-tank guns here again.
The mods are
lying
fixing
around,
it.
So
Don't worry.
they are especially powerful because in the middle of the map there's a bridge and a choke point. So
DJ Hoodlin trying to save my ass.
target your
We deleted
NT gun at
we
that
deleted the
choke
developer
point,
of the
you
game.
could have an advantage. We'll see if the player uses it or not.
Yeah, this should certainly be a closer match, right? So, if I saw correctly, though, neither of the games did we have any of the 2 players capture a flag, right?
Can we give
Maybe
permissions
they
to King
feel
Art to
like
post
it
links?
takes too much time
I
and
trust
not
them.
worth the money.
If that's
I
a
don't know.
So, could
possibility.
you go over the flag mechanic real quick, like the victory points?
Of course. So we have several flags on the map. You need to hold the majority of them to be able to get points for that. On the top of your screen, you will see a counter, how much points you have. By default, it's
Hello, Blue
500
Arc.
to be able to win. The longer you hold the map, there's it looks like a traffic light. The more lights will turn on, the more points it will generate, and also the more points you get when you are able to get one of those light up. Victory point flags. So the longer you hold them, the more precious they are, and yeah.
Yeah.
Get
We
them,
didn't,
hold
we didn't
them.
actually see that in these 2 games yet, but you brought up earlier that,
Interesting, right?
like,
Interesting.
in a lot of the games, the game actually comes down to who has more victory points. But,
That's interesting.
well, so far we just had both guys
Deserted
just
Tracks
getting
next.
slaughtered by...
Smaller map.
Maybe the reason is that I'm not
Big
good
boys
enough
are
to play
playing.
in the league with them.
I lost all my games.
That's
with
why
lots of
when I
victory
play
points,
with my noob friends, then it's victory points, I guess.
Oh, we're going to be switching map, it looks
Heavy
like.
R1 again?
That's okay.
Oh, no winter map. That's sad.
I'm sure we'll see the winter map later. Don't worry.
Press F for winter map.
Now, I'm assuming,
matter?
usually at least with the way that these things work, players get to veto a map, right? So they have 3 maps to choose from. And then one player gets to eliminate one, and then the other one gets to eliminate one.
Dude, I think we all want to see some reserves too. Now, being that it's, you know, 2 veterans going against each other, boys and girls, this is going to be a good one. We might see a res 2. But if you go res 2, you're going to lose that early game. And that might be enough to, you know,
boys and girls
say
are
GG.
playing is the beta of Iron Harvest. If you're interested in playing this as well, you
Yeah,
can
see,
do that as
they're
we
talking
speak,
on
because
behalf
go
of
on Steam,
beginners or
go on
people
the
that
Iron
aren't
Harvest
used to the
page
game.
and download it right now.
It's free.
It's free. That's the
Big
best.
deal.
The
good
best thing
exposure.
about it.
Yeah.
And it will be online till release, and the game then finally releases on September 1st, which
Let's
is
see some good
in
games. I'm
4
trying.
days. So yeah, go there, play it for
Who
free.
are the kids in the back?
See if you like it, and then get it, please.
So one thing I personally really like about it, right, is I
It would
started
be
streaming
cool
this game.
if there's
I
a
think
lot
on
of people
Monday,
in the background.
just to check
actually.
it out and
like,
make sure
you know,
that I'm
it
aware
feels
of all the things that
casual.
are going on, right?
It was a
And
very nice
immediately-
stream. It was an amazing stream. I saw
Yeah,
it.
but like immediately, so many nice people joined the chat that were actually ready to like help me out and stuff. And the developers reached out and like,
You're
"Hey,
welcome.
Lowko, we'd love to talk to you and hear your feedback and stuff." I honestly think that's one of the most important things
You're
for
welcome,
making
Lowko. You're welcome.
you know, like a successful game. Just having like an active community that's really, you know, interested in hearing feedback. And that's also what really like struck me as awesome from the
Not
developers.
necessarily
They
true,
were like,
as we
"Yeah,
saw in
I
the
mean,
last
this is how it
qualifier.
works right now. You can't cancel
Hey, you're not
retreat,
wrong.
but if we hear people like to be able to cancel retreating, we'll just add it to the game and see how it plays out. We're ready to test literally anything."
They probably didn't let
Exactly.
people
That
in
was
without
awesome.
masks.
Well, the entire story started as a Kickstarter story. So from day one, we were collecting feedback and trying to get all the, feedback into the game, right? So, and that's what we did.
Alright, ladies and
today,
gentlemen.
now that you played as
Welcome
well.
to the battlefield
Community
as
is pretty
command is
cool,
being
pretty
established.
straightforward and love
Here
to
we
help,
go
so, yeah.
with WellplayedTV and
Alrighty. So,
Jdanzi.
here we go.
Jdanzi against
Finalists
WellPlayed, and
from week
I
1
already
and
saw a
finalists
small
from week
change, so
4,
they are still
essentially,
both
even though we only
playing
played
Interesting.
3 weeks.
However, was it? I think WellPlayed,
reserves need
instead
to
of
be
2
showed.
Skirmishes, he decided
Going
to go
for the
a
grenades.
heavy machine gun in Reserve 1. Personally, my absolutely favorite weapon,
Spicy
but
match.
we'll
Hype,
see
hype.
how he executes that. Now that's
Alright, this is the
will
usual.
be surely
You
a
rush
very
for iron so
interesting
you can keep pumping up infantry units. You get the
Alrighty,
grenadier
so
for your...
One thing actually that's worth
Engineer?
pointing out as well is that you can capture some crates that have certain attributes in them. Not only resources, but sometimes you can find yourself some grenades.
so whoever
which will
wins this
upgrade
goes
any
to
of
the
these
finals on
infantry
Sunday,
units. Like,
boys.
for example, these ones right over here.
No
right over
big
here.
deal.
They used to be engineers. They threw away their
Trojans
wrenches.
right
And they were
here.
like, you know what? We got a
So
cool
we have
hat.
WellplayedTV
Picked up
towards the
some
south.
grenades. We found some rivals out in the wild.
Jdanzi towards the north.
Grenadiers, now we forget how to build stuff.
That's actually a pretty good. Well, it's a risky tactic, but it is a tactic. You can build a bunch of engineers, and then just try to collect the weapons you find on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Especially if you consider that every killed infantry unit drops its weapon. So if you manage
Ignoring
to
the
kill,
fight,
let's say,
going for the
grenadiers,
oil.
you can just send your engineers, which are
That's
potentially
20
very
oil.
cheap, and get the potentially very expensive
Right?
grenadiers.
Change.
So
Yeah, so
that's-
you can also build them right away, right?
Oh!
Exactly,
here
of
we
course,
go.
of course.
Scary.
Grenade throw.
but you have to spend way more money.
He's gonna
for
sit
that.
through that.
I
He
love
doesn't
these
care.
animations.
Cool, right? But the real beauty comes when the
Dynamic
mech
destruction.
runs through the building. But that's
Half
Sure,
health
we're gonna be
already.
seeing
Something.
some of that as well, yeah.
Halfway
Let's
captured.
hope so. Let's hope that this will be a long match.
Are more infantry
So
units coming?
obviously,
Nope.
Jdanzi right here, who's
Somebody
playing in
else-
red.
somebody else is fighting
he's trying
towards
to make
the
sure
right
that
as
this
well.
capture doesn't complete. Now it looks
And
like
that's
it
gonna be a
will. So
retreat.
that's 20 right there.
Get a grenade in
Oil
return.
for the player in blue.
He might be able to wipe the squad if he positions
These
him
animations
properly.
are fantastic. I'm a big fan.
You know
No.
what's super
No,
interesting?
no, it's
Just
4
saw
full
for
units.
the first time that Jdanzi completely is Jdanzi is red for us, right? Or is
Yes.
it blue?
This is Trojan that we're looking at right now. Yes.
So okay, so Jdanzi is red. Jdanzi did not pick up any resource point in the beginning, So
Which
he was
is really
immediately
interesting.
going for
It's a
attack.
good call out.
yeah,
what
he just
was
picked
his
up one
plan?
iron mine.
Upgraded iron mines
Well,
happening.
now he did, and now he's capturing it. But what was his idea?
Usually
in the
we
first
see
place?
barbed wire right there at a
Interesting.
WellplayedTV.
Yeah, he's
but
making
he
sure
didn't
right
get it
now, I
in
guess,
place.
that he's taken map control, that he can, you know, go after 4 of those different locations at once.
Uh-huh.
You see
Another
a
rifleman?
Rifleman, I think, running on over to this oil pump over here. Very aggressive moves, though, right? So he's decapturing the ones right now from the player in blue, which means that obviously blue loses those resources, and then he's going to be able to capture
Little
it as
victory
well.
points
Takes
already.
a
We've
long
got
time,
flags
so it does
towards
take
the left.
a lot of,
Right?
you know, idle time on these riflemen, but
That's the point. That's an interesting move.
Which
like,
of your
it takes
videos?
way more time to deflag and then put up your own flag. Interesting.
We're
move.
going to have a video
Interesting. Let's see
coming out for
what-
you
what he's following
soon.
okay, he's setting up a bit of a pincer attack over here as well.
Right before or
So
right
it's,
right during
desperately
release?
trying to hide on the train rails.
Don't worry, Shamper, we got you.
But he's hiding right next to a gas tank, which
The
is not
7-minute
cleverest
video is
idea, but
good right now, but it's slightly outdated.
Sure, we don't talk about that.
we don't say these things here.
It's a 7-minute video.
Alrighty. Now,
Beginner's guide.
already this is a significantly closer game, right? So when do you expect the barracks to go down, or are they gonna go straight into the workshop?
Nice to see Lowko still after
Let's see
his
what the plans.
baptism of fire.
Well, they both have reserves one, so they need
What
either
did I
barracks
miss?
or workshop. So they need one of them. Otherwise, they cannot call their reserves. But no one of them started to do something interesting.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
So by the way, the one critical flag on this map right here is in the center. This is, well, literally dead center in the map, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, if
The
you
only thing I
control a
noticed
line,
about
I'm pretty
the
sure it's
spectator
right
mode is up top.
it's
the victory
very,
points,
very difficult
they're
to
both
properly
red.
capture that one. But after you have it, it's obviously going to be even harder for your opponent to decap it. So taking control of the map
I
is
do. I have a
absolutely huge.
bottle of water right next to me.
So far, both players trying to get maximum value out of their
Is that
units,
local?
but
Yes, it is.
most of them, are, yeah, just mostly going back and forth for the time being.
Interesting. So you're right. The middle flag is usually the place where the biggest fights are going on. Defending it, usually players tend to build bunkers around that, which is fair enough, of course. Interesting is that Jdanzi called for retreat already, so seems like WellPlayed currently has the upper hand slightly. He definitely has more, or is about to have more resources.
Alrighty,
Oh,
so here we
there
go.
see another retreat there as well.
Yeah, so this is what a retreat looks like. Basically, you send them out from the battlefield, and as soon as he realizes that these units have come home, there you go.
There you go, yeah.
You can get reinforcements right there from the headquarters, and then he will send them out onto the battlefield once again. Now, I wouldn't be surprised
Thanks,
if this
DJ.
very
Thank
first
you,
group,
DJ.
yeah, this is the group of engineers that we saw at the very beginning of the game. They are still going strong, and it's important, right? Like, keeping these units alive makes a really big difference, because you have to pay for every set of groups that you get. Plus, they also take up some of that army size, so making sure that you have a big army is obviously beneficial of having a small army.
You also have to consider that building a new troop is always more expensive than insta-healing them.
Oh,
That's so close.
Yeah.
He got him.
Good.
He got him, boys.
Don't let him go. So,
All right, 4v2 with a grenade.
Cheaper. You cannot
Still being on cooldown.
spam the R button if you're defending your own
careful here.
base. So
Full retreat.
there's a cooldown for that, of course.
WellplayedTV is going to get a lot of map control from this.
Yeah, I thought for a second he was going to go for like
Nice
the body blow.
veterancy as well
Actually,
on his
also
grenadier.
an important mechanic right now. You can notice that on the grenadiers, aka the engineers. They just leveled up. They got their veteran ability. Now, which veteran ability do they have?
So the infantry units generally,
cry.
when they level up, they get stronger. They get, well, generally better,
HP.
more HP, more shooting power, and so on. What is important though, that they get the
Battle cry.
hover over it. I forgot the name. Not
Oh, this one.
Yeah, it's
Battle
battle
cry.
cry. So
There
the
you
battle
go.
cry is the thing, because when someone is like a heavy machine gun
Just
is
had to
attacking
stay
you,
up late for this.
they
Vaughn,
get
you
down.
don't lie to
They
me.
cannot
You
move,
don't sleep.
and the battle cry lets them actually get up and run away. The way cooler abilities is some the
He's
mechs
not gonna
learn
retreat
way
him, he's
cooler
gonna leave him
abilities.
cover
so,
somewhere.
They lose
I love that spot, by the
the,
way. It's such a nice spot to be.
Smiali from earlier can use his bayonet and charge
Okay, no
the
need to
mechs.
call me out on it.
And as I said, the upgraded or the leveled up units are stronger generally, so you want to keep them alive.
More activity than
There
me.
we have one of those
I've
bad
been
boys
too
once
busy,
again.
man.
They're
Come
extremely
on.
good against infantry.
All right, there's
away.
the reserve one.
WellPlayed decides to
Strashnik's
get out
out.
of here.
He knows that he has no chance at all, and what he tries to keep them
He's
alive.
actually giving them
Exactly as
XP
I
by
told
hitting
you.
him.
Yeah.
And he
Get them
vetted up.
home, heal them, and use them, and don't build them again. It takes
Yeah.
time. It's more expensive.
Plus, you lose the veteran, right? So these just became
Exactly.
veterans right over here too. I mean, obviously, they have to be alive in order to be a
I
veteran.
can't click that
So
link
here's
right
one
now.
of the heroes as well. She's actually got a bear. It's probably hanging out here somewhere, but
If it's a 7-minute,
She lost the
beginner guide?
Oh yeah,
she's also got a what is it called? Like the snipe ability.
exactly.
Allows her to deal damage.
We
from
call that precision shot.
And a
The cool
retreat.
thing about the precision shot is that if
pretty
you
even
execute
map right
well,
now.
You kill every unit that
AT
is
gun
Oh, he
was
took
stolen.
the field gun.
Yeah, so the field gun was actually out on a map here.
Mm-hmm.
Both players, by the way, are running the same hero, which is why we see double bears and double
And
Anna.
he lost the amount of units that are needed to
Clever
be able to
move
man
here,
that.
So killing the people manning the gun.
Strashnik versus
actually,
Strashnik here,
frees
but
it
they're
again.
both focusing infantry
And,
troops
but
because that
you
is
don't- you can
that is the most
always
important
abandon
unit
the
to
weapon as
focus
well,
on,
if you feel
especially
like.
with the Strashnik.
That's
Bit
what I usually do, for instance, when I'm
overpowered here
roaming the map
with the
heavy
amount of
machine
units.
gun.
He grabbed it on his way out.
Yeah.
I mean, this is gonna be a full retreat. Grenade coming out, nicely
sorry, go
placed to
ahead.
be
No,
able to
that's
zone
fine.
him off a
You
little
know, I
bit.
just
All
wanna
right,
say that
and that's a
with
dead
the
infantry
stationary weapons
squad?
or with those field weapons,
Danzy, hello?
you can abandon them and then, for example, capture the flag or whatever. By the way, we have some flag game finally.
Yeah.
He's gonna be able to steal
So
that
first
grenade.
player to 500 points wins. That is important to note. I mean, sometimes the game kind of just carries on and you forget looking at the top section of the
Gonna keep
screen.
pushing
And all of
this
a sudden
back.
there's 460 for your opponent, and you're like,
They're
okay, what happened?
almost dead.
It is important to keep an eye out on that.
Ooh,
Oh.
we have a downed mech. What is very important and
Who's-
cool with the Strajnik, I told you earlier that Polania again is supposed to be
Who's was that? I'm looking at the bottom of the screen. That's red, so that's
faction.
one
However,
Strashnik
the
down. That
Strashnik,
means
for
Jdanzi
instance,
lost
has
his
a
other
unique
Strashnik.
ability no one else can. He can walk and shoot at the same time, and he's the only mech who can do
Oh,
that.
he's gonna lose
relatively
another
fast.
one.
He can turn.
He just uses
360
overpower ability, so he can't
within
move.
Seconds.
Oh,
he's
God!
very versatile and very important on the battlefield.
Now, this is always a little bit
Rear
of a risk, right?
damage.
Just barely outside of shooting range.
That is super risky.
God, this is such a big
So
play if he
you
destroys
can
it.
force the mech to walk backwards right there and make sure that its armor on the back is not exposed. It
Oh,
does
he's gonna
take
get away.
damage, or bonus damage from the back. Now the workshop is
Is
all
he
the way
healing
out on
up?
the edge, which I guess reduces the amount of travel time, but got a feeling that this bad boy may very well...
Boy, he just saved it.
Oh, he
Oh
did it.
my God.
Yeah. So usually when you
Oh,
neither have a workshop nor barracks, the units that are retreating are running back to the headquarters.
That was huge, actually, man. Now you got the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Exactly. And
They're too
the
calm.
game is called
These casters
Iron
are too
Harvest,
calm.
Of course,
I'm
and
sorry,
Iron
they're too
Harvest
calm.
Is, thing actually.
Oh, yeah, that happens.
Now that he have the, I don't know if they will do that, but they have the debris lying around now in the base, and they can harvest the mech for resources.
Yeah. So you
Selecting
can
a
get the
unit,
wreck right over
right-clicking,
here.
yeah, and they will take oil and.
I mean, you
and
shoot, right? It's right
yeah,
there.
It's like they're not even watching the
and there it
match.
goes. Free resources, you should definitely do that. That's a big advantage. If you're able to,
Pog.
oh, there you go. There's reserve.
Oh, so that is a great counter. However,
so
the
this is a heavy
Structure is
gun
going to be
right
able to
over
move
here.
around. That's just
Very, very
fine.
good
Remember,
obviously
he's
against
also
mech. And the
vetted
only
up
problem
so he
is that
can
these
use
things
his
take a little while
overcharge
to deploy.
ability.
You can see the.
He's going to try to micro
I guess the
himself
arc in which
around.
it fights or
Exactly.
fires. If you can
this
walk
is
all the
gonna
way
be
around
awkward.
it, they're gonna have to reposition this thing, and they are.
Oh, these guys are dead.
extremely
Look,
slow.
that's the
And
overcharge.
as you can see, he did exactly what his strategy.
see the flames
he
coming out?
exactly knows what he's doing. So the Strajnik has to run around
that's dead.
this.
Or is he going to be able to micro him out?
Shoot
Nope.
the people. Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
Boys,
there goes down
these
to
early
level-
mechs
was
going
it
down
level two?
early.
I think it was a level 2 Strajnik.
It's actually really
That's a
cool to
big
see
loss.
because both players are
Yeah,
countering
they're
them
coming
to
in
the
from
best of
side
their
as well,
ability.
which may have very well gotten the final hit.
Greed OP again, obviously.
Bear is
Yeah.
not only looking cool, but he also
It's-
has a
it's crazy
passive
how
ability.
greedy they're getting.
Standing around is healing
I'm
your
sure it's
infantry
nerves
troops,
too.
which is super important.
Trying
We
to
just saw
deny
that.
the opponent as much as possible.
We have two bears fighting each other.
I mean, he stuck around there for
Maybe
way
they're
too long.
mating. Okay, no, that's. I'll explain
Bear
that to you
versus bear?
after this.
Schmeow's on the
Second
battlefield.
mech joining the battlefield right here. Shmiali.
Schmeow.
There's an
Yeah,
I.
exactly.
Yeah, there's an I in there, right?
Exactly, and it's the fastest mech on
You
the
don't
battlefield.
pronounce the L
And
like
as
an
you
L.
can see, he
It's
shoots
it's a
extremely
yut.
far.
It's like a yut.
And playing Polania actually really requires a certain degree of
Schmeow is going to be really
skill,
good.
because you need to kite, you need to
I wonder
hit
if
and run, you need to
WellPlayed is going to be
kite
ready
from
for this.
distance, you need to harass your opponent and be able to move your mechs again. So there's a lot of micromanagement involved playing Polania.
Yes, a very even game so far, right? I mean, we do have an advantage here for well played, I would say, but his hero is currently still down, which, yeah, doesn't really help him all too much. He's got a little bit more...
He lost to Schmeow.
It's hard to say, really. How would you call this right now?
I mean,
It's relatively even, actually. I mean,
How would you call that?
what's
Let's
happening?
come up with a name. So we call that...
There's no mechs for well played.
Well, I mean, blue obviously has more points, right? So
You can
that-
tell
that
both
helps.
players
Oh, yeah,
are
of
nervous.
course.
A lot more,
Normally they don't
of
make
the map
such huge
taken
mistakes.
right
These
now
are
as well.
massive mistakes.
Yeah, well, yeah, as you say. So
Map control in well played's favor.
WellPlayed has more victory points, and he's still winning. He has 2 flags. The third one is not even up, so the third one is still gray.
Oh.
What a nice
That was a
shot.
lot of
The third one is
damage.
still gray. Yeah, Jdanzi must do something about the
Wait.
points.
Yeah, so
Don't
like
lose
you
the ammo.
explained earlier, for every flag that you have
Here
captured
comes a
more
Schmeow
than your
for,
opponent,
WellPlayed
you get
TV.
0.3 victory points per second.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a very difficult math equation, but basically since right
I
now
think
he's
that
got
AT
2 more
cannon
flags
right
than his
there
opponent,
killed
since
the
the third
Schmeow,
one is
by the
currently
way.
uncapped. He's getting 0.6 victory point a second, which adds up very quickly. I mean, his number keeps going up. So over the course of a couple of minutes...
Oh,
you
Anna's
may
gonna be able to
actually
clean
end
that
up winning the
engineer.
game.
Yeah, we already, and that's You said that earlier. In the heat of the fight, you kinda tend to
Don't grief
forget
for
what's
that
happening
engineer,
on
though.
top of the map, and
love
he,
this.
he will get a notification in a few seconds when Wellplayed reaches 250.
Yeah, so this is what I tried to point out earlier at the beginning, right? Like, how are you gonna break this right now? You're gonna have to go around it in order to break both of these.
Exactly.
Or going for another
able to take the Strashnik. He's doing the right, actually the exact right move.
Okay, nice.
Go with the Strashnik, go from the side.
Oh,
and
no,
shoot
Wellplayed's
down
gonna be
the
able to
people,
counter this. Look at this.
Manning, and that's
Oh,
exactly
he
what's just
demanded.
happened.
Okay.
Nice.
That's perfect. Perfect move.
AT
Yeah,
cannon.
just in the middle of
Looking down
repositioning
its
one of
barrel.
his cannons,
Oh, it's missing.
which is gonna eventually force us back, but the damage has already been done.
Schmauer showed up though.
Great move.
There it is. They need damage numbers on.
Alrighty, so can we have a quick look right now inside of their bases? Neither of them has upgraded their workshop or barracks just yet, if I'm not mistaken.
But we see a lot of early mechs. I'm happy about that. Yeah.
You want to see the late game?
Oh,
mechs?
another one is
I
gone.
would
The
love
Schmauer's
to,
gonna be able
but
to
who
clean
knows
this
how
up.
far they
Bow.
get.
Dead.
250 in a tick.
That's 3 Strashniks
There you go.
down for Jdanzi.
And a victory point. Let's
13 minutes into the game,
Jdanzi
boys.
panics. Or not.
Yeah, you get the reminder.
Just
I
debris
suppose, right?
flying
But
from
I
the
doubt
left
that
side
he
of the
lost track it.
screen.
It's probably just me that's losing track of it.
Well, I mean,
3, take it or
pushed
leave.
in with your back to the wall, then
They're not dead.
you could lose.
Oh, look at
there
all
you
these
go,
units. So many engineers to be able to
So,
heal and
slowly
mount
but surely,
these
right? We have
emplacement
Wellplayed
weapons.
taking control of most of this map. He's not losing that middle control.
Really
that he
good,
established, like,
really
4
good
or 5
plays here.
minutes ago, and he's just continuing sitting here, right? So the longer he sits here, I mean, he's just aiming to get a whole lot of points out, right? The more that he can, or the longer that he can
Wellplayed
capture this flag, the
feels-
better it becomes.
Feels optimistic
it's
about this
worth
push.
To grab this one right now, if you are Jdanzi, I feel like it's worth it just to like slow down the advancement. But maybe he needs to commit his units over here.
Yeah, well, he's
Trying to
pushing
heal
for
up
the middle
Anna.
flag that is
gonna be able
heavily
to.
guarded. He probably can't see that the other
Oh,
flag is
no.
completely empty, and he
He knocked himself away.
has one rogue unit there. Eventually
Might need
moving
more armor
towards the flag.
to be
who
able to
knows,
really lock it
but,
down,
and there it goes.
Yeah,
and
that would probably put it away.
that, I
Oh, there
guess
goes
that
the
this
WellplayedTV
unit was
barbed wire
supposed
you
to
just
go
saw.
to get one of the flags.
Trying to
of-
save
of
Anna,
Wellplayed.
however, she's retreating right
but I
into the
would
line of
surely
sight
go
of the
for
AT and Anna.
the unflagged flag.
Yeah,
for the
like
one,
it
yeah.
feels like it makes so much sense just because you would have to progress with your opponent, right? But maybe he's really concerned about this middle one, because then you would just delay the inevitable, right?
AT
Maybe
versus
that's,
AT.
maybe that's his thought process
Yeah,
right now.
but he's
They're on
fighting
a
against
mission
an
to
iron
save
curtain
Anna.
here, so there's really a lot of stuff happening here, and he's pushing through the middle.
Oh, that Schmauer
Not sure, not
ballsy
sure,
standing
not
right
sure.
in front of that.
Now, we do have
Upgraded
one
workshop.
of the main production structures upgraded. You were talking about big mechs earlier. Well, this is going to allow him to start producing some really, really big boys if he wants to. He does have the resources for it as well at this point. Might be saving up a little bit more, though. What kind of unit would you go for at this point if you were, or if you were
Schmauer
well
versus
played?
Schmauer. AT looking down train
So
tracks.
what do we have on the map? So one of the
Tor, to
very
be honest.
good units.
I'm looking
from
at his
the Iranians
resources.
Are the Juves. The Juves
doesn't have
are
enough.
running bunkers pretty much, 4-legged.
He needs to hold for
With a huge
700
mortar gun on
iron
the
at
back.
least.
The cool thing is that if you put units inside, they will shoot out of it. So it's really walking.
Good damage. The AT's
I was
dead.
checking for it just now, man, but
Yeah.
didn't have the
A
resources.
little bit of
for it
map
just yet.
control going over to
Getting up to
Danzy.
500, 400, though, so he's got a decent amount of money at this point.
But Jdanzi needs firepower. He will most likely he will go for anti-infantry because that's probably a clever move since Wellplayed is heavily using infantry. And then last resort is the tour.
Yeah.
The
Try
strongest
to
mech
attempt
in the
to
game,
heal
but
up
also
Anna
expensive
again.
as hell, so we'll see.
Decapping
So-
is going to
oh,
give you
he did
40
what I
victory
predicted.
points right
I
there
like
for
this a lot.
decapping that.
Yeah, went for the he
Yeah,
has
I'll
to.
bet
I
up-
mean, he's
That'll
yeah,
never get
many
used, though,
points
that
down, so he has
ability.
to make-
Yeah, but it's smart as well, right? Because if your opponent is settling all
Oh,
of their
Jdanzi
defense
stole
in the
that
center,
AT
I
gun
mean, it
looking
means
at the
you can just
Schmauer.
go around the map
It's
and start
creeping up.
capturing some of those easily acquired locations.
potentially, right? You don't know that.
Yeah.
The fog of
Oh,
war, but yeah,
God,
he
AT
doesn't know.
from the
Right
north,
move.
AT from the south. Look, it's trying to get
Not
set up.
knowing he did
Oh.
the right move.
I think it got decrewed. It got decrewed.
Yeah, obviously we have a little bit more vision than them, right? They cannot see
But
the entire map.
Here is another big question mark. Why doesn't he have the other flag? Now no one gets points because it's even. He needs the person with the third flag gets the points. No one has it.
Yeah, this seems like a no-brainer.
But yeah,
I guess he really wants to be grabbing this one back. I mean, it's being guarded by three menacing guys with guns, but I feel like these are pretty easy to
Really
take
menacing.
care of. They can actually hide in the
they
front.
should. They should. But he should heal them. I mean, they are level 2 infantry units.
I guess he wants to shoot at any units that might try to capture.
Tor is available. He has enough for the Tor, boys.
So,
We're
well
sitting for
played.
Tor
A lot of
power.
money, man.
WellplayedTV has enough resources for the tour already, but he's not building any. So interesting.
Probably busy fighting.
It's kind of funny, right? Like, when I first started playing, I thought the early game started off a little bit slow. But then all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, you find yourself having to do about a gajillion different things. You have no idea where to actually spend.
We're almost sitting at 1,000 iron.
The multitasking required to play this properly is absolutely insane.
And maybe gonna be able to make it out.
Alrighty. So Jdanzi is starting to grab some stuff again, though.
Why are we floating resources? Well played. Look at Jdanzi's resources.
Heavy weapons here are usually the last resort. So when the opponent is coming to your base
and 4 units
with heavy mechs, then the AT guns
versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units.
He's absolutely broke though. That's like the big thing, right? So we have 17 supply right here, and then versus 26.
There it is, boys.
There's the big boy.
Yeah, tour is coming. So now well played. Will have.
All right, here comes the late game.
The AT guns will be able to take down the tour.
Nom 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 nom
Nothing
nom.
else, I guess.
I have never seen this animation. This is how a tour gets made, guys. In case you're unfamiliar, it gets made in a tent.
For Polania, indeed.
Anyways, it's gonna be coming out very, very soon, and that's the strongest weapon that they have.
Exactly. The
Another lost mech.
Huge. Has even as you were asking about the special abilities.
WellplayedTV is just playing cleaner.
The tour levels up,
He's just
he
playing
can fire
cleaner,
a
man.
barrage of rockets, rain it down on infantry that's running around him, because he needs a lot of time to turn around. So getting him from the back is actually a good tactic.
He doesn't even fit in that tent, dude. So one cool thing that I really like about it is that these guys just walk through structures.
No worries at all.
Oh, so
they're
cool.
slow, but they take, they take the quick route. They don't mess around.
Exactly. Let's see how he will use them. Jdanzi's holding up.
Danzy's going to see this and be like, ah.
But we have a problem with the flags again, and well played. Yeah, does what he's supposed to do. Gets back his flag.
Yeah, so what do you do with this
This
big
is a
thing
game.
if you want to right now? Like, do you just send it to your opponent's main base?
Oh, you
Yeah.
never do that. That's super dangerous.
No,
in
you do
Iron
that.
Hubs, you can't do that. I mean, there you go.
That's told you. The second he saw that
He's
tour, he was
it's
I'm
like,
done.
okay, no,
Okay.
I can't be bothered
That's
with
what
this.
I told you earlier. He has
WellplayedTV's
nothing
gonna go
else
to the finals,
The only
boys.
thing he had was the AT gun, but he didn't want to risk the flag, unfortunately. I would love to see that, but Jdanzi, good fight, but why didn't you take that flag? Why didn't you take the third flag? I don't know.
Well, obviously,
Tobi's-
as like the neutral
Tobi's
observer,
pissed. Why did you take the
Of
damn
course,
flag?
of course.
right?
That's like in the pub when you observe the soccer matches.
Yeah.
Why didn't he? Yeah.
All right,
It's
well,
easier
Danzy's
said than
going to go
done,
to the
You actually do
the
need
lower
a lot of
brackets.
actions permitted in order to play this game properly, and I'm actually excited to see where this is going to go, man. Like, obviously, the game, I mean, we've said it about a dozen times right now, but this is still the open beta version of it. I'm excited to see what players can pull off in like a year, right?
Well, we'll
like,
see.
We'll see these like strategies streamline a lot more. There's
Yeah.
no way someone's going to have 1,000 iron in a year from now. I don't think that's going to be.
And I feel like,
You're gonna
at
need
least
to.
from my position right now, there's still no real build order or something like that. We can see right now that many people are going for early reserves, which seems to be a pattern. Currently, again, we are still working on the meta, so these
Working
things might
on
shift.
the
So there's a pattern. However, I don't see any real
Brackets.
building order, which is, I think, a nice thing to have it like a bit more variety.
So Group A is going to
Yep.
go to
The matches,
WellplayedTV.
Yeah, so the question is as well, right? Is it better to like capture all
That's-
of the mines?
that's gonna
close
be
to
your
your
loser
side of the map,
bracket
or
right
do
now.
You know, since your opponent is going to be capturing theirs, likely to their side of the map, so are you going to go for theirs instead? There's a lot of things up in the air. Like we don't
And
really
then
know
as
exactly
well
what bet
as-
move are. I mean,
That's a
we
very,
think
very good
A
question
getting
and
updated
a
now.
very good thing to think about. So the ones that are close, of course, you reach them quick. Of course, the ones that are on the other side of the map are the ones that are potentially the mines of the opponent. So if you have them, he doesn't. However, because it's so far away from your base, defending them is super tricky, especially in the beginning when you don't have
Sketchy, come
units
hang
to-
out on
to-
Discord.
to actually let them stay there
Don't
somewhere.
actually.
What might be
It's
interesting
mad at the
though,
moment.
in the early game, harassing the opponent, and maybe that's what Jdanzi tried in the beginning, harassing the opponent by deflagging the other one, the other resource points of the ones you seem to have. Because this makes you maybe panic a bit, you don't know what's happening, all of a sudden your resource points are getting deflagged. maybe that's what he tried in the beginning, but well played. I didn't congratulate you yet. Well played, congratulations.
Nice dessert
For
choice.
your second,
Sketchy, what's
second
up? Blue
well
art?
played, well
The fact
played.
that he's got his nickname to be well played is a little bit.
He was meant to win. Congratulations, second win. Great. So
Yeah. So just to go on that for a little bit longer, right? So while you're capturing one of those location points, your units are going to be vulnerable. They're just sitting on the ground.
Exactly.
I don't know what they're doing. They're like digging up the ground around the iron mine.
praying to the gods. Gimme.
Hoping for good iron.
Open for good iron. Yeah.
I'm good, man. How are you?
You know, maybe they're like enchanting the minions that live inside of the iron mine.
Can
I
you
don't know.
remember Lord of the Rings when they were sitting in
Oh,
front of
gosh.
Moria and they were trying to find out what
Elon.
the password was to get in?
Look at these nerds coming together, bonding.
So
Oh my
maybe,
God.
Love it.
who knows? Who knows?
All right, I'm drinking
maybe
water
that's
now.
what they're doing. But since the units are vulnerable, obviously, if you can get your army over there, and you can see, by the way, on the minimap which point your opponent is going after.
Exactly.
If you can get there in time, you can deal a lot of damage.
Cheers,
and
boys.
obviously, you can prevent your opponent from capturing, or maybe you can force them to retreat, which would give you an
Oh,
advantage.
that's the older
again.
game.
So, I mean,
That's
obviously, since this is still
other
beta
ca-
as well,
yeah,
and the
it's on a
developers
delay.
seem to be up for literally anything, I would kind of like to see like speed boost in the early game, man. Make this like Mario Kart in the middle of. No, okay, no, I'm just kidding.
How y'all doing, man?
Well, you know what
How
I
are you
would
guys
like
doing?
to see personally? So right now there's no map editor, but who knows? Eventually
Look
this
at
might
this
come at some
dude.
point. I would like to see having the resource points actually behind your
Alright,
HQ, that
let's
they
get back
don't
to
really
this.
matter that much. So you capture the resource point that are somewhere hidden, and that it's just really the mech fight or the whatever fight in the middle. Like everyone has the same odds, and then it's just metal versus metal. Who knows? Maybe that's
I mean,
boring
it's
because
just a map,
yeah.
right? Yeah, you can just make a map.
Yeah, exactly.
boring?
I should do that.
Yeah.
See you later.
Okay. It's all right, man. I got this.
You
got
should have
that.
walked
You
out.
got
Forward
that
and
covered.
Easy.
Ease.
No, it looks like everyone's a big fan of the deserted
Save your
tracks.
points,
It
boys.
is.
Save your
Well,
points.
it's a nice map.
Trust me.
Yeah, and yeah.
I hope we get to see the oil spill a little bit later.
You see
I
the
hope
delete
so.
your barracks
I
now,
want
right?
River,
You see that?
Yeah.
Check the points.
Winter map.
Thank you,
Also, by the way,
Clononauts,
just
by
for
the way,
those of you
for that.
wondering, Iron Harvest isn't just
won the last
one
game?
versus one.
WellplayedTV,
In multiplayer,
one
there's
versus
also 4-player
Jdanzi.
games, there's 6-player games, but on top of that, there's the campaign, there's missions, there's tons of stuff.
Exactly. What we are having today is still just the beta. And again, if you want to try it, go to Steam, download it. It's
What a
free. You can try it
magnificent
yourself.
beard.
And what's in there already is 5 of 21 single-player campaign missions. Big
Good
thing.
day, good day.
Single-player
It's
campaign
upsetting.
will be a huge thing. There is. We just saw it.
I
6
like the
maps.
first mission of the
Oh yeah,
game, man.
right.
I was like, I
Hey, these
downloaded the
nerds are
game,
really
I
good
installed it,
peoples,
right? I'm
man.
like, okay, this is a
But
game about
thank you.
big mechs marching the battlefield, and the first mission, well, small spoiler alert, I suppose. Can I
Yeah.
tell you?
Oh,
To go for it. I mean, it's free,
Okay,
right?
the tutorial, right? You get to do a snowball fight against a bunch of bullies.
It's like, but it's like straight in the heart. It's like
I
really.
thought he was gonna spoil something huge.
I was
And
like,
the
okay,
first
where are the
mission is-
mechs? Where are the mechs? I get to throw snowballs? Okay, I
It
guess
scared
that's
me
it.
for a second.
Defeat the boys is the first mission you get.
Oh no, it's saving for
So
20k.
we were. It was so quick that I didn't pay attention who's who. So Rotterdam is taking Polania, of course.
I actually did not catch the reserves myself either. Okay, well, with
Oh,
Polania on both
no.
sides.
Zara, why you
Double
gotta
pro-
do this to me, man?
Is it? Are you sure? Oh yeah. Sorry.
Alrighty, so
This
it's
is
gonna be the
losers,
Muslim
yes.
playing with the red colors.
I hate
and
saying it. This is
Rotterdam
the
playing
losers
with the-
playoffs.
I guess it's like
This
I
is
wanted
the
to get
lower
blue, but it's more
bracket.
like a teal or like a cyan.
Rotterdam
the
versus the
HQs,
Muslims. These are
can you?
two players that lost against our veterans,
might
WellplayedTV
see- no, we can't,
and
unfortunately.
Jdanzi. They got
so in
knocked out early.
When you oh, we can, he did.
No,
nice.
he clicked this. This is
That's
his
good.
click.
So now we see reserve 1, so we see what he picked. So it's
all right.
Anna, and that's how you call the reserves, by the way. Yeah, you pick them in the beginning, and then
Don't
once
spoil
you
anything. Stop.
meet the requirements, you can yeah.
Well, we see the exact
I have
same thing
15,000
happening as well
points
for
to
his opponent,
practice.
so there we go.
Or it
Alrighty.
might be a bug. Who knows? UI things are funny.
I was told not to click things.
And
because
I told you to click, and oh.
No. I was told not to like cancel or like start anything because there might be some bugs where I accidentally start up units for them, which may have been helpful for the.
Yeah,
previous
Imagine
game.
him
we could have
deleting the
turned
barracks for
Yeah,
him.
no, I.
Send in some cheats, some explosions, something. Like, oops.
No, I'm
Who's the
not gonna-
caster?
finger.
I don't have a
It's a bad
caster.
idea, man.
So.
I'm solo dolo.
So who's who?
Oof.
Rotterdam is blue, right? So
Yes.
Rotterdam is having 4
Oof.
mines already.
MTG's finest with the 2,000 biddies.
All right, he does capture it.
And
Thank
he's
you for that.
harassing.
I got an
Good.
emote.
Okay, I like this.
I got
Couple
an
of
emote
grenadiers
for
are
that.
coming up as well, probably to try and prevent the opponent
Thanks,
from,
dude.
well, either like capturing this or at the very least.
Look,
not
look at all
capturing
these
it.
people you hooked up.
Obviously, this does put them on idle for a while, though, and Roddy already anticipating this as well. Decides to get on out of there.
It's Lowko and Tobi casting.
He's already upgrading the mines. Clever, okay.
Things
if
got
you have
switched
the money
up
and the time to spend the time,
during the week.
the money, fine.
GG points.
Yeah, by the way, if you have a group
Yeah,
of
you're
units
number
and you
one right
want them
now.
to like
Thanks,
hide
dude.
behind something, well, you can kind of see it right here on my mouse cursor as well. They will indeed stick behind like cover quite easily, which is really neat.
That was nice of you.
Obviously, sometimes you might want to have them out in the open, but most of the time,
Alright,
hiding behind something.
two
will keep them
StarCraft
away.
players, pro StarCraft players, facing off against each other. Looks
wanna be
like
capturing and
Rotterdam
upgrading
already
these
went
mines
for
super
the
quickly,
big
I think, like, especially
iron
the upgrades
mine.
are very expensive, and this one is still relatively close to the center.
If you can, if you have that one engineer troop, which when I
He's
play, I
upgrading the
usually
oil pump.
play with a lot of engineers and try to send them not into like never return missions.
This is gonna-
but,
this is an
I
even,
use them to actually harass the opponent by
even
getting
skill level, in my
exactly as
opinion.
you said, those upgraded mines. That is good for you,
Zerg
and
rush.
that puts a lot of pressure on the opponent. So because he has to react,
I think there's a Terran main in here
here
somewhere.
He wants to get them back. So yeah,
Toss-
that's
oh, there you go.
definitely a good way to play the game.
Roddy with the
Yes,
with the
both
pro
players
toss
are harassing
plays.
each other as much as they can. We do see Rotterdam already adding on the barracks right now. This is going to be, well, either allowing him to produce two
Nice early
riflemen at
barracks
once if he
in
wants
4
to, or
minutes.
sets of them, which is quite a nice improvement as well, because that obviously
The
means
Mixo
you can
tips are
harass
coming
a lot
in.
more effectively and capture a lot more effectively.
Oh.
Pro toss is confused. He can't aim
Just
move.
before he deflagged, he called for a retreat.
Muslim
That
is
was
Terran.
sad.
Terran,
He
sorry,
should have
Terran.
waited for a few seconds more.
Ooh, okay. Can you shift queue those commands? I don't
Yes.
actually know. Maybe.
Which one?
You can, of course.
Yeah, you can just hold down shift plus R? Yeah, I guess so.
Mm,
All right,
no,
well,
no.
here we go once again.
Wait.
Barbecue Man, also known as the Muslim, put up the field cannon here in the center. Manages to shoot at one of these engineers for now, but a little unfortunate here for Roddy.
Barbecue Man is sending 2 troops to get the mine. One will. Oh, he's actually
He
exactly
captured the
doing
big
what you
iron
said
mine.
earlier. He took the upgraded iron mine. That's clever.
Yeah.
Map
So this
control.
is such a big loss right now for Rotterdam, right?
Look at the map.
100%.
Which is why I was saying, like, I wonder if that's the best way to go about it. Like, on some maps it seems to be a little bit easier, but this, yeah, it feels like this one might be a little bit easier to upgrade. Well, that's exactly the one that the Muslim upgraded on
Yeah,
his
that's
side of
that's the best one to upgrade.
The big advantage of map
Because
control is
it's-
that you
it's
also
not in
see a
danger
lot
of
on
being
the map,
decapped.
because with having the oil pumps and the
Instant
iron
racks
mines,
upgrades pray
you
to
put away
trade
the
return.
fog of war. Gives you another big advantage. Not only do you have more money, but you also have more vision, and you know that in war intel is the most important thing. So yeah.
Not that much damage though.
Grenadiers.
Then that
They
can't.
use
Oh,
their,
that cannon's
grenade
gonna have a
abilities
field
off
day.
cooldown right now. They're looking for which grenade to put
Holy!
in. They're like, oh no, where is it?
Roddy, what are you doing?
Right.
Put it somewhere.
I find it in about a minute. Don't worry, though.
My guy.
You know the
Get
weird
him
part
out
is
of
they have,
there.
like, they have the grenades strapped around their bodies, man.
You know, but
It'd be hard to find.
You know what
They
that
have to
is?
reach
That's
their back.
StarCraft mentality.
and
That
the
is
throwing
StarCraft
arm, you know,
mentality.
It
Yep.
hurts, so it takes
Oh
a while.
no, they're
Oh,
just
but he
getting
took down
shot
almost 3
over and
units.
over
Oh.
again.
He's even coming in right now
Oh,
from the
he's gonna
side
be
with a
able to whip
couple
that
more
squad.
riflemen.
Reload, shoot again. There it
Oh,
is.
he got 1.
Yeah, and right now we see
Yikes.
well, the colors
Something big
of
is
red
towards the north
are
on the
covering
minimap. I
map
see the
slowly but
arrow.
surely, man.
Go a little
He's
higher.
not killing them.
Ah.
Oh, he might
Two
lose
slush sticks
another
are coming.
unit then.
Rotterdam, that is. Yeah.
Rotterdam, that is, and lost the second unit.
Two
Missed to
slash six
push
and
R
Anna
again.
coming down.
So close to
from the
home,
north.
yet so far.
Oof.
That what happens when an AT gun shuts the house.
Ah, it was the AT gun over there. I was gonna say. There you go.
Me and Zyron have played plenty, and I've lost every single time by a large margin.
So here we go.
There's a reason he's in the
And we
finals.
have the double Strajnik.
Or in the
Reserve
playoffs.
number 1.
Will be in the
There you
finals.
go.
Gotcha.
So this is absolutely fantastic right now for the Muslim, right? Getting
Oh,
himself
yes.
a lot of those units out
Look at
very
these
quickly. He's
Terminator
covering,
bots.
most of the map right now as well. Even decapping
Enemy
the big oil pump
engaged.
over here.
Oh, hello! Yeah, thank you for the
I
follow.
feel like
Woofer,
that could be it
what's
already.
up,
He
Woof?
already took both of the field
I know
weapons.
you.
He has both AT guns. One of the AT guns is already aiming for something at
Oh,
the
those
base
mechs are
already.
not gonna be able to. Anna's there though with the long range snipe, maybe? Nope. He turns the
I think at
corner
this
around the
point,
building,
Rotterdam
lost
is
line of
slowly
sight.
being pushed back into the base. I mean, you can see the amount of units that he still got at the bottom of the screen.
Rotterdam
They
is
don't quite
pushed
want
into
to
his
give up
base.
just yet.
Yo,
but
the
I've got a
hypes.
feeling right now, especially with
The hypes and the
engineers going
oh-nos.
down, that this is, for all intents and purposes.
Rotterdam must call the his reserves.
Yeah, he needs his reserves, right? If he wants
Desperately.
to do anything.
Oh.
Doesn't
That's
really
the
have
only
that
way
much-
to,
well, he
to
actually
stay
has
alive.
quite a bit.
Rod has
There we
nothing.
go.
And he does. Very good. Maybe he's listening to us.
Ooh, next
Maybe.
level.
Stream sniping?
Slowly though, the entire map is turning red.
Yeah.
Have I won against them? No,
And
never.
that's no good, obviously, for Rotterdam here. It's like the Muslim is Bob Ross and the map is his canvas, you know?
Yes, exactly.
It's... What is the
GG.
color red? I don't know which one.
Look at all those
Permanent
emotes.
Red, if I recall
Love it.
correctly. Yeah.
He should.
I don't know. Y'all can figure it out, though.
Should take the AT guns and.
Oh, well, here we go.
There you go. He
All
must
right.
call the AT guns now. He must. Very important because his
ATs would be super
clinch
helpful, but look at the
units
ATs
of,
creeping up for the
Rotterdam are
Muslim.
right now
Oh, two
right
ATs!
next
These
to
Star 6000 in
the,
so much
barracks.
danger. Look at the
With one
infantry even getting knocked down
kill
too.
them. It hasn't.
Half
it
health
hasn't
already.
cooldown. He cannot
One more
spam
volley
it,
for
but-
both. One, and then
The Muslim
another
is
one.
setting up a
Two.
huge concave right
Ripperino.
over here.
Yeah.
The Bear having a lunch break, but
Everyone's calling GG.
Observing.
he's in here, yeah.
He will also iron harvest later.
Oh,
He's harvesting iron right
God.
over
Yeah.
there. Okay.
He hasn't pinned.
This is- oh
I mean,
my
God.
there's
Oh,
only
nice.
two
Final
ways you can get out of
Very
there,
nice.
or through a building.
And well, the Bear actually getting the double kill steal right over
Oh,
there. It looks
oh.
like. I think that the Muslim, with
Make it
this
stop.
cleanup over here, is going to be able to force Rotterdam out
Make
of the
it
game.
stop.
I think that's
The
it.
blue die.
He actually somehow
your
some way
emotes work here
found
too.
a group
Nice.
of riflemen to send towards this
Go,
oil
go.
pump.
Go find iron. We need something now.
Desperation
that's
calls.
it, I guess. He has the barbecue man. Yeah, there we go. Barbecue man had the
Rotterdam
AT guns.
through in the towel,
You
boys.
can't neglect those weapons.
Muslim
they're free.
took it.
They're lying around. You need to take them. They can give you the early advantage.
All right.
Especially
Let's
against buildings.
let's
and
update
mechs.
the chart.
Barbecue man had nothing against buildings, so he had not a
Thank you for the
single
follow, man.
anti-tank thing other than the AT guns, and they decided it, in my
base
opinion. So
noose?
with that, he
Base one
was
noose?
able to crush Rotterdam.
Yeah.
Ah, so Muslim.
Nice game
wins.
right there. I mean, relatively similar strategies, right? But the execution just a little bit crisper.
I must say, in the beginning, I thought that Rotterdam has the upper hand. I felt like that he's pushing way further, that he has more control over the map. In the beginning, he held most of the production buildings.
Yeah, definitely took
the
a
resource
swing
buildings, I mean.
at some point.
But Barbecue Man
He's
was
probably
able to
hoarding
fight back,
resources, to be
to
honest.
capture everything slowly but steady. And with those field guns, and Rotterdam had nothing against it. And also Barbecue Man came with the two
You guys are
strategies.
gonna hear
and-
another
Yeah, the
chime
resource
from my
calling so
computer.
early, right?
he
Like
was
I'm
able to
upgrading
call the results earlier.
updating the
And
charts.
if Rotterdam would have at least one of those AT guns, this
All
could
right.
have changed something, but yeah.
It snowballs
Missed
very
chance.
quickly, right? Like when you get a more economy, it also means
That's
you
where
can
we're
get
at right
more
now.
units
Yeah,
out,
of
and
course,
it,
of course.
Yeah, it gets out of control very, very rapidly.
But you know how it is. More
Ignore
money, more
the
problems.
question mark. That's gonna be the winner.
Alrighty, guys. Now, if I'm not mistaken, both of them will actually be joining us here
Yeah.
very shortly as well.
Oh, nice. We
I'm
get to
sure
see
that
them.
this will be some friendly banter. I'm sure they will be very polite to each other about the current state of things.
Congratulations,
This
by
is
the way,
RTS
Barbecue
equivalent
Man.
of a war crime.
GG.
I still don't know why his
Good match.
nickname is Barbecue Man. Just to
It's-
clarify,
it's
that
an
is the Muslim
amazing-
in game.
Yeah.
Maybe his Steam nickname is a little bit different than, or maybe he wants us to call him Barbecue Man.
No matter what.
I know
the
he's been
Imperial
going
Guard
by
wins.
Barbecue Man on a bunch of different places, but
Can't wait to
he's
hear
been
the song.
building up
No,
that
yeah, seriously.
like the Muslim brand for like 20 years. You know, it seems a little strange to change names at this point. But.
Me as a PR guy, I say Barbecue Man is the best,
Yeah.
better name.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Cool. We had some.
Oh.
Yeah, we had a pretty cool match here.
Intel
Yep.
just came in.
But it does mean that Barbecue Man is going to be able to continue onwards in this tournament. He's getting another shot right there against, well, his fellow countrymen. Didn't they play earlier? They did. I wonder if he's.
Well,
worried
I
about
hope
that.
he will re-watch those.
This is gonna be the last
matches
game
to
for the
see-
day.
To see which screws he has to.
Toby might
tighten
join us
up.
on the stream.
Yeah, so
Not 100% sure,
we'll,
but
we'll see about that. But
we
I
did
must
schedule
say,
a little chat
me
after
being
this.
close to the community and to the developers,
You
of
might
course.
come over on my Discord.
I'm a bit
We'll
happy
chat
that
on stream.
the community guys won,
I'll have
that
to
the
confirm.
qualifier guys won. Of course,
I mean,
I'm not sided at all. Yeah, but it's nice
You're
to
just
see
sided
that
with
the
the game.
underdogs are actually having a match, and I like that. I like that the.
well, having a match. That's nicely put right
Uh,
there.
Speaking
been
about
doing
having a
extremely
match.
well
Yeah,
so
yeah,
far.
yeah.
I actually wonder what then happens tomorrow, right?
Speaking about having a match,
I mean,
those were some good games.
screen as well.
That was some combined arms. There's no cheese. There's no base rushing. It was actually good play, early play. We saw a lot of early mechs there. And, I think that was actually really good. If not, I'll join you.
It's always cool
Okay.
to see people from one game try out another game and see how it goes to them.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I see Twitch chat full of emojis from my channel. Sometimes I glance over and I just see a couple.
So
I
the
can't read
Lowko
what they
love.
say, but
You are also an influencer? Wow.
I guess so. Yeah.
So you did that already?
Well, I got this wristband.
Oh,
A
cool.
double wristband. Did you get a double
I did
wristband?
nothing. I got nothing.
You have no wristband?
I was harassed by security today.
I was gonna
what,
say,
what the hell are you doing? He's like, I'm supposed to be here, really?
Oh my god.
Okay.
Someone get this man out of here.
Voice is like half a second delayed. Yeah, we will surely
Ooh.
do something about that.
Well.
Waiting for
With the
the
magic
last
of
game
the
of the
casters.
lower
And
bracket.
By the way, there might be some of you wondering, where in the world are these guys? We're actually currently in Cologne, Germany. It's a little empty right now, technically speaking. Well, it's a little late at this point, so maybe things.
Oh, hello!
Technically speaking, maybe over the
still
course of
well.
the
Thank
next
you for the
couple days,
follow.
some people are going to be behind
Appreciate it.
us as well.
I love you.
Obviously, with all of the
I love everyone.
restrictions, with the whole world situation as it is, we might have some people in the background. No promises, though. I don't think they're
Yeah, we're gonna change that
call
oh
my
hello thing to
friends.
something more Iron Harvest
But
related.
we are also, especially, you didn't mention that we are in the basement of
Wait, what?
a place in Cologne in Germany. So yeah, basement life. I think on the top most of the people are right now, but the cool things are happening here. You
They're
know
missing
what?
out, dude.
You know what's the no? They're on top. There's a huge screen.
Witam.
So
Oh, they're watching
Ja,
over there, is
ciao.
what you're trying to say. All right, smart.
Witamy
Smart.
ciebie też.
Well, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
I like clever people. So nice.
Can you
I
play in
actually
this
really do
tournament?
like this
No,
place, so I
this
had never
tournament
been here
is
before. Had you seen this before?
it's
It's,
invite only.
brand new,
So this is the
actually.
final
Yeah,
step.
it's
the
the
final
opening
people that
days,
made it.
like
we should
2 days.
say we should
Here, before
probably
this
say
game
where we
starts-
are, right?
I mean,
We are in Saturn in Köln in the Experion arena. I hope I don't mess up the name.
that's why I didn't mention it. I was scared to mess
Greetings,
up.
Harvesters, and welcome
I-
to the first
it's-
ever
it's
ESL playoffs of Iron Harvest. We have had 3 fantastic weeks of meta-defining qualifiers with hundreds of players participating, and our finalists showed us what harvesting iron is all about. From Jdanzi pushing the boundaries of Rusviet with the mechanized exosuits in week 1, to Saxony re-establishing its dominance in the late game with Jutnalin in week 2. Zyron showcasing Polania, utilizing its hit-and-run tactics by rushing to victory, and we came full circle once again as WellplayedTV showed the world how to counter Jdanzi's meta in week 1. It has been a fantastic preseason so far. However, our 4 winners will have to overcome yet another hurdle. With the invitation of 4 professional RTS players, Rotterdam, DMusliM, Hero Marine, and Todd standing in their way, each split into groups with a best of 1 and double elimination round, giving them a chance to play in the best of 3 finals. Will one of the pros be able to steal their spotlight, or will our 4 Iron Harvest veterans show them the true meaning of harvesting their enemies' mechs? This and more coming up next. All right, boys. That's what you get. That's all you get. Little something I was working on, but they're back here.
To copy whatever they were doing.
Fair enough. Yeah, I actually was watching Roddy's stream a couple hours ago. I thought you were in a voice call with someone else who was giving you a couple tips here and there.
Yeah, I was in a voice call with Mixu. Mixu actually did his absolute best to qualify for this tournament. He's a pretty good
think Fedor
StarCraft player
told
as
us
well.
this.
And he has apparently played over 100 hours of Iron Harvest already. So I was like, well, seems like a pretty good guy to get some advice from. And I think he gave me great advice. It's just the execution was lacking a little bit. Like, I don't know what happened, but I had the feeling that my engineers in the game against Ben, they opened up a crate, but I feel like I didn't pick up the guns or something. I think otherwise I could have won the fight on the top side. But now
You have
I
to
just had
click on the
infantry and
gun.
engineers, and then I was losing. And I was like, I just felt that everything went wrong, and I was like, I don't know. I'm very upset.
What?
Because like me and Kevin, we went into this tournament knowing that, we're probably going to lose against the other guys. But we also knew that whatever games that we play against each other, we're so competitive, like freaking 13 years ago, like playing Warcraft 3 against one another, then we played StarCraft 2 against one another. And I remember one time Kevin was like, hey man, you want to play this game called Quake with me? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll play you, I'm really bad. And he was like, oh yeah, me too. Anyway, I ended up being like 20-0 against Kevin, and Kevin never played it again. So this felt good, As soon as I picked up one of these grenades,
Look how happy he is.
and then I saw that Kevin's units didn't move out the grenade, and then they all died immediately. I was like,
We had that on camera.
Oh my
yeah,
God,
the
this is
oil mine.
awesome.
Yeah. You also did very well in taking the AT guns. I think that also gave you the edge. I mean, you had way more firepower than in the late game.
So this is
and,
DMusliM.
Roddy
this
had
is
nothing to
Roddy.
throw against it. So that was pretty smart and a pretty good move, especially because they are so strong. Every one shot can you cannot one shot units, but you take a lot of damage or give a lot of damage. So that's pretty cool.
So
yeah, I'll pretend that was intentional.
So if I'm not mistaken, you're going to be facing off against the same opponent again, right? So are you worried at all, Ben?
No, now that I've beat Kevin, like my goal is.
Oh my God.
You know, like,
All right.
that's honestly what I really wanted to do.
Ben's going
So
against
Hey,
Jdanzi.
rematch next week. You know what? Like, you go ahead and play your tournament. The game comes out on Tuesday. We'll both play it for a couple
Find out what
days, and
books
then
he
we'll
has
see
read?
how
Oh, I
good you
can't
really
tell.
are, Benjamin Baker.
all right.
So I'm actually curious to hear you guys' thoughts on the game so far. I mean, now that you've got a little bit of time with
opinions.
it, how are
Uh-oh.
you enjoying it? I mean, devs seem
They're
to
really
always be looking
adorable.
for feedback. I talked with them for a little while, and they seem to be literally keen on incorporating pretty much anything. You guys have any thoughts on it so far?
Here we go.
Well, there's one thing that really stands out to me is that obviously when you make hotkeys, you can do like Control 1, but I'm very used to the
Shift
fact
1.
that if there is nothing in that group, you can just do Shift 1, and then
Yep.
that unit will be in 1. So I was actually like really struggling with
add
that. It'd
2.
be super nice if you can just do Shift 1. If 1 is empty, that then those units, the infantry or whatever you're controlling, is immediately part of that control group. That's the one thing that like multiple times I was like, why is my hotkey not working? But like it's obviously very different than the games we normally play. But it's honestly very cool and it has a unique take on a lot of things. And it does, like, after you like get over the initial hurdle, I feel like every strategy game is always in the beginning. For me personally, at least, it's always a bit overwhelming. It's like, well, I have no idea what's going on. But then when you finally pick, okay, like, all right, unit positioning is like, okay, unit is like, whoa, I'm making a
this
pseudo
is-
sneak and this thing is awesome. And then like you start
is coming
getting
from a
into it, so it
pro player,
honestly seems
boys.
pretty damn fun. And I think, yeah, I'll definitely play it
It's
again.
good.
I think it has a lot of potential.
Rest
I
assured.
think it's. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I was just going to say,
The
like,
word potential
I
is
agree
great.
with Kevin, like, totally. It seems pretty fun, and like, the more you, like, it's a game that is very confusing at first, but you pick it up very, very quickly, and then it's like, oh, this is that. Like, I don't exactly know what it means when I capture an iron mine. Like, I don't know how much iron I'm exactly getting, and then upgrading it. But I know it's better if I do these things. It starts to make more and more sense,
Yeah.
and getting reserves out, upgrading buildings, and what have you. I will say about like the hotkeys, it does feel a little bit clunky when you like hotkey a unit, then select another unit, and then try and hotkey that. Sometimes it can be
Yeah, it's a little slow.
overlapping as
I
if it's
think
delayed or
Matter
something.
hit it on a point
And
right there.
I don't know if I'm just
seem a
used
bit
to
slow and
StarCraft with
sticky.
that, but yeah.
Rest assured that the entire office is watching you guys, us. So I'm 100% sure that everything is noted right now, and
yeah.
that it will be taken into consideration. Especially, you know that the first focus when the game was developed was the single player campaign, and all the multiplayer things are just being added on the fly. So we are still learning, and we are adding, and we are patching and adding quality of life stuff.
Why doesn't that
I do
work?
want to say that the theme of the game is honestly very cool. Like,
I
I always
misspelled
love, like, you know, like kind of First World War vibes, and I think the music awesome, and the graphics, honestly, it looks really cool. So all of that definitely leaves me like, oh yeah, this looks pretty damn badass, and I'd love to play more. So
Thank you very much.
definitely, first impression, in my opinion, is really good. But obviously, you need to play it way more to have like
Of
a
course.
proper feel for the game. But when I watched Jdanzi play against Wellplayed, like then you actually look at two guys who
It's like
obviously know
he's
what
just-
they're doing. And I'm
he's
like,
just
yeah, I can see
elbowing
how
them.
this is really fun.
Did you
Like,
write
I
that
wish I
down?
could do that, but I guess that's gonna take a little while.
From September 1st,
Yeah, thank you
you
for the
can do
follow.
that every
Animal
day,
Animals
day in,
101.
day out, and then I will fight you as well.
Sounds perfect.
All right, guys. Hey, thank you
We'll
very
fight
much.
you as well.
I believe Ben needs to get ready for his next game as well. I hope
I'm
you're
going to
a little
enjoy
bit
this.
more.
Alright,
more
where's the popcorn, Lowko? Where is my popcorn?
where's
Feet
the-
on the desk. I can't wait to see Benjamin get absolutely slaughtered. Come on, Jdanzi, go get him.
I'm sure Jdanzi is listening to this as well.
He
Ben,
knows he's
anything
getting
you want to say?
slaughtered. dude.
Well, Jdanzi was actually giving me some tips before I played Rotterdam, so thank you,
Ultimate confidence.
Jdanzi. Kevin cheering on Jdanzi, even though Jdanzi helped me against Kevin. Oh,
I
it feels
really
good,
hope
man, but,
Because he knew that you
Jdanzi
were the easier
trolls
match in the
and
decided
picks like
match.
Rusviet or
Makes
something.
sense.
Kevin, you can't talk shit after you're absolutely obliterated by me, okay? That was more one-sided than me against Jdanzi or whatever. But yeah, I'm expecting
Oh, God, they're slinging
close to
fire
game
at
this
each
time,
other.
hopefully, given that now I've increased my play amount by a good 20%.
And you know what? Since you are now the underdog, I'm crossing my fingers for you. So go get him.
Cheers. Cheers.
All right, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy, have fun, bye bye.
Bye bye. All right.
Coolio.
Just his
I love
emotions
the
right now.
confidence between these two. I mean, like what he brought up, they've been competing against each other for like a decade and a half. It's been a little while.
One win is enough to shit talk the other. That's very nice.
The nature
That's
of competition.
how it should be.
Alrighty, so final game of the day is going to be coming up here very shortly. It's going to be the rematch of the very first game of the day as well. Now, that game, I don't know exactly in minutes how long it lasted, but it felt like it was less than
It was super
7.
fast. Dude, it was super fast. 7 is a
quick
good
one.
guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
We were off camera and I was
Danzy needs to
it was
go,
Jdanzi, right? And was like
Little
checking
Sviet or
the watch.
something.
Like,
Come
oh,
on, man. Who's the next match?
It's like we have an early break today.
Muslim
But no,
against Danzy.
let's see
in
how
the lower
Barbecue
bracket.
Man does. Because especially, I was watching your streams as well, of course, and I
Of course.
could.
Yes,
I could.
I like the way that you say of course.
course.
That's, yeah, that
because
makes sense.
that's
Yes.
absolutely must do.
Mhm.
But what I wanted to say is that even when you played, you had your struggles in the beginning, but also match 2, 3, 4, you got better and better and better. And I feel like that the learning curve. I don't know. You
No,
comment that.
you're right. Like it's a
I'm-
pretty easy learning curve. I mean, the one thing that I was a
I
little
either
bit
got
confused by initially is just how you
orange
get
beard or
resources,
no beard.
which I know is like the most basic
Choose.
thing ever. But as someone who's been playing a lot of StarCraft and also some Warcraft back
Can we
in
get
the
the
day,
timer up?
the mine wasn't right there at the very beginning, you
what
know. So
timer?
it's like, okay, where do I actually get my stuff? But I mean, just like Ben said just now as well, the Muslim, you just play it once and you kind of get the hang of it as well, and you'll be able to understand a lot of the subtlety.
Maybe a little.
Probably just like 5 rounds.
Campaign's gonna be awesome.
Again, double Polania. Let me
Here we
by
go
heart. I must do it again.
I was
we
gonna
have
wear
we
that
have
shirt,
the
but
Polania matches again today.
let him have
So
You guys
that's
didn't see
interesting.
him changing, just
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
he's just throwing a dice right
Good.
here, and he's hoping to get lucky.
Good that they did
Got
look
it the
Saxony.
second time, yeah. 2 out of 5, pretty good, man. Well
Dude.
done.
And we see a pattern again. We have Anna and 2 Strajniks for both in reserve 1. Let's see
All right,
what happens.
dessert tracks again. Last game of
I
the day.
wish to see other factions, but maybe tomorrow.
So I was watching some of the games from the earlier stages of the beta, and it seems like back then, pretty much everyone was playing with the Rusviets, right? It seemed like, especially the auto melee was a big difference.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is that like the main thing that you think have changed? Or
One
Oh
of the
no,
main
many things has changed. Not only the prices for the different mechs and buildings. So, for instance, there was a time where all buildings and all mechs, like each building for each faction was the same price. But right now, to make it more balanced, the Polanias, for example,
if you guys
have the
noticed.
cheaper buildings compared to the other ones.
We see a lot of Polania in these
Then
finals.
you mentioned it, the Rusviets, they were absolutely dominating
Like,
the battlefield. They
Scary
were
amount.
well, we threw them into the beta to see how they do, and they did so well that we
Where
had
the
to
hell is Saxon and Lucian?
change the numbers a bit.
Hello?
We had one of the big feedback was that units go into melee way too fast. We changed that as well, so they will now go into
finally
melee
winning.
only if you really tell them to. And all
Oh,
those meta
Shader,
things,
please don't.
numbers, changing it to make it
Very unpopular
fairer.
opinion.
Having only Polania right now today is interesting, and I'm sure that the team will take
I
these
know, but
information and these
come
metadata
on.
as well.
It's a loser.
Alrighty, so here we go once again. We have Jdanzi
loose
playing
a
with the
little
blue
bit.
colors and the Muslim playing under the red colors. He's moving around a lot more confidently already. I like this. Making sure that he at the very least cuts his opponent off at as many corners as possible.
Yeah,
Is he gonna be able to
the meta
cancel
shift
this?
is so
No,
fast
there's
though,
no way
huh?
he's gonna be able to cancel this one before.
Saxony isn't that bad, right? I mean,
It
they're
does slow
not.
it
The
down. But you can
Kaisers
see, like,
what you
whenever a
want
hit
for
comes in, the
Saxony.
capture does get reduced a little bit.
Yeah. But sometimes you need. I don't want to call it sacrifice, but sometimes you just need to take the damage
Look at
and
the
get
close
their flag
range
up and
rifle
then-
fire.
and he
Their
immediately upgrades
barrels
it.
are hitting against each other and they're just shooting
In the
at
face
each
of his
other.
opponent, he
What's
right
up,
away
Void? How you
uppercuts
doing?
as well. In the meantime, though, we do have the Muslim capturing
Yeah,
a
Border
lot of
River
the
does
mines
look
on
great.
the
Something
outer
is
edge
playing
of the
it?
map, too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something
this is
is
much
happening.
better already for him. So this is, by the way, another qualification match. So the one that ends up winning this round is the one that moves on in this tournament as well.
And then there's a huge hole.
$2,500
And then there's
for the first place prize. I mean, obviously, that's going to be crowned on Sunday, but
Oh, grenade coming out.
And we saw definitely.
That was nice.
explosions.
Yeah, I told you, hiding next to a gas tank is not.
I didn't
Who would have guessed?
actually
Not
think
safe.
about doing
Yeah.
it. What's up,
Hiding
Nick?
on train rails next to a gas pump. Like, it's not.
Good
yeah,
morning.
I don't know. I
Good
can see some
afternoon.
problems with that.
It is. Oh, it's only 12:30.
Yeah, but Jdanzi takes back
You
control.
guys
want to
play some games after this?
Barbecue Man.
I'll run some
started
threes,
really
maybe.
good.
Does he want to capture this?
Maybe ones,
yet,
twos.
apparently.
I don't know. We'll see.
He's indecisive.
Yeah, he could have obviously captured it, but obviously
I gotta wait
those units
for,
are significantly slower as
Toby,
well.
if he wants to join or not.
Well, that for one, and the second one is it's an anti-tank gun, right? So
Yeah.
it
King Art
would
will
do a
come
lot
out.
of damage, but it's super slow. And Jdanzi just could
I'll
outrun
1v1 King Art.
Barbecue Man and take. It would be an easy win, I guess.
Equal
for,
skill
like,
level.
This particular fight, I mean. So
Oh, there's the grenade being thrown. Did he pay
Tell me
attention?
when I'll play with my
bad throw.
18
Didn't really
FPS.
get him. Jdanzi
This is bad.
nicely dodged the
Yeah.
bullet.
He's not actually sitting behind cover right now either. Finally realizes and gets some of these
And
units out of
wow,
there and actually
almost
10
retweet
PM there.
them, which is really critical. Keeping them alive, as you pointed out
Thank you for
multiple times.
joining, though.
Exactly.
Way more important than actually dealing damage to your opponent. But this obviously opens up a lot of time right now, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but
it's gonna take a few seconds.
I really like how Jdanzi is pushing the front line towards Barbecue Man. So seems like he's moving all
Yeah,
his
this is
units
pretty
at
over
once in
already.
the same direction. That's pretty interesting from different sides.
I think
so he's going
R2
straight into
Rus
the right
is
lane.
overrated. Their buildings
Interesting,
are too
interesting.
expensive for it
and
to be
as we
fast.
just saw, Barbecue Man had to
Absolutely agree.
retreat, and he's giving free
Those buildings
open
are
space
pricey.
for Jdanzi.
And then even the
So,
mechs aren't
what
that
could
good.
you do right now if you're playing a red? Like, what's a great way of being able to get back into this? Because
like punishing if you go late game.
In that case, I would probably go. I mean, in his reserve one, he has the
good to see
stash needs. He
Polania on the
would
top
probably
charts again
need
now.
to go and get those out as soon as possible. That, of course, requires resources. You need to take that into consideration in the beginning.
Zubov is a god.
Leave the free crates on the battlefield. Take them. You need that money.
Oh, you thought
Yeah,
you
but
thought
when
the
your
Muslim
back
was
is against the wall,
having complete map
it's
control?
looking dark, of course. Here we
No,
have some
no.
iron,
Jay
of
Danzy's
course.
putting this in the bag.
Only weapons are left, and this one iron crate. Yeah, I saw that Jdanzi took most of the stuff, which was clever, of course. Now, for example, shoot the red bell. Do it.
Oh,
Do it.
the classical video
on.
game red barrels.
Oh, you missed it.
You missed, dude.
It's
Hit
right
it again.
there.
Oh
Is
my
he?
god.
What is he aiming for? Who knows?
No.
No, he's not. He's just aiming for the house.
Sketchy
And he's aiming
Squad.
on the left corner because that's where the units are currently sitting inside the house. So there's kind of
These guys, man.
yeah.
What are
Those
they
are
doing?
you
They're
need
marching with the
3
left,
people to
right,
maneuver the
left,
gun.
right,
right?
left,
So
right, left. Yo,
hold
left.
a 5-unit squad
Yo,
to
left.
take this
Oh,
AT
right.
gun, and 3 are maneuvering in. Now that
Oh,
he
grenade coming
has
on
5
the
on them,
AT.
when the gun takes
Oh, man, I
damage
can see it.
and one of those dudes dies,
They'll
he
take
will be
off?
replaced by one of the
Ah.
guys from the back. So it's actually better
the
to have
barrel.
this big squad.
Yeah, if I was a field cannon team, though, I mean, I would hate these guys in the back. Look at them. They're just standing there with the shovels, doing a whole lot of nothing.
Someone has to give you the good advice, right? I would shoot there, maybe.
Anyways, Reserve 1 has arrived right here for Jdanzi, and that's going to make things significantly better for him. While this
Can he
field
make a
cannon,
video
very
about
helpful.
discovering a new
Anna
strat
just
for
runs
this
around.
which
With
is
one
balanced.
precision shot, he can
Oof,
take down
that's
all
gonna be a
3
rough
of
one.
them if he aims right.
Oh, it actually is a line, like a, it's like a
Exactly.
line
The
skill.
It depends on
Exactly.
skill.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Everyone
I mean,
in line
versus a good player,
gets significant
much would
damage,
work
and now he
versus
had
a-
to
you know,
leave the
someone that
gun
doesn't know what's
team
going on,
because
everything
all-
would work.
The entire team was shut down, unfortunately. Good for Jdanzi.
Yeah, fighting a brown bear one-on-one.
Come on, Barbecue Man. I know that you're listening to us. Do that. Win that.
There's no way he's listening right now.
Well, he needs to find
Yeah, this is
solutions.
rough.
I mean, it's looking really, really bad. No.
There's a bear on the back of this rifleman right over here as well.
Okay, cleaned him up.
I don't know what the IRL matchup is for a guy with a gun versus a
Gunter
brown
the
bear,
goat
but
right
even
now.
then I
Gunter
don't
is
think the odds
great.
are particularly great.
Oh,
You see
rip.
the Revenant?
I did not actually.
Game
What
over.
are
Big
the odds?
miss.
Oh,
Here we go,
bad.
by the way.
Oh,
Bad.
bad odds.
That's how well
There you
played
go.
lost his
Again,
match.
last second. In the match earlier, we saw the last second reserve call from the
Other player.
what was his name of Rotterdam. Now it was Barbecue Man, and I see that the entire team is calling for. No, it's not. It's
Sketchy!
only
Somebody subscribe!
it's calling for retreat.
Oh!
The Stashniks are still on the front
You
line.
gave WellplayedTV
Like
TV a
this,
sub.
Pretending to back off for a little bit, but then
Shader, thank
going
you for
back
the
in,
gifts,
almost
man.
getting killed there. Now a couple reinforcing units are coming up as well for the Muslim, but that's
Sketchy!
not great.
Somebody subscribe!
Yo,
Start
Hype.
powering right now and you know lying on the ground trying to get some damage in, but
thanks, dude.
That is not
Not
a clever
really.
move.
You're a
and That's
beast.
exactly what happened. Pinning down the unit, they cannot hide.
You
They
show
cannot
us
run, they cannot
scouting
do anything.
well played.
Somebody
yeah.
subscribe!
Thank you for the prime.
That is really bad for the infantry unit. Really bad.
Oh,
Good
the support.
Rare
Appreciate it,
armor
man.
shot. rear armor shot.
You guys-
and
you guys are
Cannoneer.
awesome.
Exactly the
Yeah.
right
Sketchy.
move to take those.
Somebody
That's
subscribe.
the first time we are seeing the Cannoneers today. They're absolutely fantastic, like you said, at taking down these mechs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shane is now the new goat.
Against regular infantry units that are, yeah, they feel like a bit of a,
Somebody
like a
subscribe.
desperation moment where you kind of need to get them out if you want to stay alive. If you can't really
That's
get
nice.
like, other units out yet.
Yeah, I also must confess that I prefer finding the hand cannons and exchanging engineers into them.
Sketchy.
So finding them on
Somebody
the battlefield is of course a good
subscribe.
advantage. I
bum
would
thief with
prefer
the prime.
the IT guns
Thank you very much.
over the
That Anna got
however, the AT guns
annihilated.
are more expensive.
Appreciate the support, guys.
Oh man.
Honestly.
These two bad boys have been teaming up together for a while. He's just running infantry units at him one at a time, and that really doesn't work. Nice little bit of micro right there as well by Jdanzi, making sure that the
It is
mechs
great to be
back
able
off
to
when they're
contribute
lowest
to a
hit points
community
while the back of it is
and get
burning.
feedback in return like
I don't
this.
think he has any plans of sending it back
Um,
anytime soon. Now he could send a
heightening
couple of
the production
infantry
value,
units over
obviously,
here
of
as
these
well, a couple of
streams
engineers to repair this bad
as
boy
we move along.
back up to full health.
It's
But
really good to see.
well, there we go. The Cannoneer actually, yeah, you
Thank
see
you,
that?
yeah.
Like the cannons, they were dropped on the ground.
Yeah.
The
And
infantry units picked them up.
That is-
and, well,
is
here we
that-
go.
did
Now
we
all of a
hit
sudden
sub
they're on the
goals?
side of Jdanzi.
Is that what happened?
exactly.
Double kill.
What is that face of yours?
I
I'm
have
not
to work on that,
subscribed.
boys.
I can watch that for 10 hours.
But
my
Barbie
hype face.
is actually putting up a pretty good fight. I mean, yeah, the odds
Oh.
of course are not good anymore.
That's
but
the reason I did
he's
it.
fighting
Yeah, thank
back,
you
and
for
that's
allowing me to
big,
hit my
that's
sub
huge.
goal.
But
Alrighty.
yeah, just that I said it. You got yeah.
Defeat? Wait, Jdanzi
But
just defeated?
great fight, Jdanzi. Congratulations for your next win.
What?
So
out
that
of
does mean that the two guys that made it through the qualifiers have now also made it through the group stage of this tournament.
Nice.
Congratulations right there to Wellplayed and Jdanzi, who I believe is going to be joining us as well for an interview here very shortly.
enjoy your
Jdanzi,
emotes,
that
man.
is. So that's going
Really
to be
appreciate
good. Yeah, sadly that does
GG
mean
indeed.
that both Barbecue Man as well as Rotterdam did not make it through. But I mean,
But
Thankfully.
it
That would've
took
been
him
weird if
one
they
win
didn't.
actually, and Barbecue Man had the confidence to actually fight back. He was not
Yeah.
doing that bad actually. He, of course, Jdanzi played Iron Harvest in and out, so he
Yeah.
had the advantage. But Barbecue Man did way better than in match number one. Way better.
what
way
did he
better.
say? He said he played 20% more games now, so I guess he played one additional game, and that was 20%. Like, if this was like his 7th game, he actually put up a fight against Jdanzi extremely well.
I would like to see how Barbecue Man does after some training, because I feel like he knows what he's doing now, kind of. He just needs to learn the meta and the units and who's doing what. But I feel like he knows what he's doing, and yeah, could be interesting.
Now, apparently, sadly, the microphone of Jdanzi is not properly functioning, so that means he won't be joining us. But we do have a graphic ready to go of the group. So if you could get that up, that would be awesome. So here we go. Group A, WellplayedTV going undefeated. That means that he's 9-0 in this tournament so far. Jdanzi 8-1, with DMusliM and Rotterdam both defeated and eliminated out of the tournament. Now, that does mean that tomorrow we're going to be playing with Hero Marine. Then, I mean, we have Todd as well.
Jut.
I mean, can you
Todd and Zyron.
pronounce that second name in the group for us, please?
Call him Jut.
I don't.
I
mean to
will.
put you on the
I
spot,
will
but-
because I feel like
Just
that's
Jut
a
is
Finnish
fine.
name, and
Yes.
it's probably Jutilainen. But
It's actually not that hard.
he's from South Korea, so who knows what? If that's supposed to be Finnish, I'm not sure. But if that might be,
Jutilainen is actually
my
easier
guess
to
is
say.
Jutilainen, but I'm not sure.
That is actually very interesting.
Yeah.
How come a South Korean gamer has the name Jutilainen?
How come your name is Lowko? I don't know. People come up
I
with
mean-
interesting things.
Yeah, there must be a reason, right? There must be a reason. Now I
There's
want
a
to ask
prize
him. Maybe
pool.
we can do so tomorrow. Once we get,
$3,000 first
him
place,
to,
boys.
win
Team
one of these
Zyron.
games as well. Now,
Yeah,
there's
we
the
need it.
prize
It's
pool for
hashtag
this
Team
tournament
Zyron.
as well. As mentioned, this is going to be concluded on the Sunday. So tomorrow we're going to be doing.
I'm rooting for both
B,
Zyron and
then,
Wellplayed.
well, I guess that these two guys that have moved on right now have already secured themselves $500.
Wow,
Not
that
bad.
was big, and I also
Can you
like
get
the
me one of
fact
those
that
prizes?
we have
Yeah, sure, no
some
problem.
kind of World
Come on
Cup
over.
here going on. So well played from Russia, right? Jutilainen,
Yeah.
South Korea, Rotterdam.
After all these subs,
is
of
Dutch.
course.
Best country in the world.
Best country in the world, of course. We have
I might be a little biased.
Barbecue Man is probably from the UK, I guess.
From England, yeah.
Yeah, England, Jdanzi as well. So that's pretty. And tomorrow we have even a German contender, which is pretty cool. So community guy from the
Two, I believe.
Two.
Yeah,
Two,
Jeremy
yeah.
Marine is also from Germany.
But
Todd
yeah.
is from
Zyron's
France.
from Germany
Amazing.
as well.
Isn't that cool? I like that. I like to have the variety, having different countries there. It's very nice, and we'll see who's grabbing the crown in the end, right?
Alrighty, so once again, guys, if you want to give this game a try, it is currently in the beta. It's open beta. You can download it for free on Steam. So just look for Iron Harvest on Steam. You can pick it up. It is going to be released next week, but I can assure you, at least from what I've heard from the developers, that they plan on continuing this game for the foreseeable future. So if you are interested, give it a try and give it your feedback, and maybe the game will get even better. I'm sure that it will get better over the course of the next couple of months.
Oh, you put _SQ.
I think that about wraps it up for us for today. Any last words?
Thank you for being with us. Come again tomorrow. We will have huge matches, and I'm looking forward for a finale. If the matches are as cool as Jdanzi versus Well Played, I think we're up to some eye candy, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, as the game obviously progresses and as the tournament progresses, the better players will remain, and the games obviously will get higher in skill level as well. We saw one of the really big mechs today. I want to see at least 3 tomorrow.
I want to see. Well, I don't have any Polania t-shirt anymore. I have Saxony and Rusviet, so I hope that we have other factions.
What are y'all doing? Which one you're gonna be coming with tomorrow?
I would probably Saxony. Tomorrow, someone has to play Saxony so I can shine.
Well, stop trying to break it.
Thank you guys very much for tuning in, and we'll see you once again tomorrow at 5 p.m. CEST.
Peggy 16.
You're going to war?
You heard him. Just for a few months.
I won't let my son die in another meaningless war.
Meaningless?
We are defending our homes, our freedom. What do you want your son to become? A patriot or a coward?
I don't think the war will be that bad.
This is not a game, Yannick.
The war is coming, whether we want it or not. We won't hide.
But Papa says it's going to be a bloodbath. Don't go.
Split up the troops. They mustn't catch us all at once.
I need someone I can trust.
I am a soldier, have been all my life.
It will get worse before it gets better.
If this battle is lost, then there's nothing to stop them. The resistance is outnumbered 10 to 1.
Haven't enough people died already?
Hold the entrance by any means necessary.
We've flown too close to the sun. Now we will all burn.
No!
I want them exposed and destroyed.
This is a friendly
Their audio is so
I
bugged.
know what those machines are capable of.
We can't outrun them.
We're not going anywhere! Courage, men!
A liar! The only thing worse than an enemy is a traitor.
It's you.
War does not wait. Tear the village apart!
Hoo-wee. All right. Is it over? It's over, right? We're done? We're done here? Thanks for watching. Great. Thanks for watching indeed. This needs to go away. That's gonna go away now. And this can go away. Welcome everyone. Haven't seen y'all's beautiful faces in a while. We will definitely be doing that tomorrow again, obviously. Thank you for tuning in. We are, however, going to be playing some Iron Harvest right now because I'm in the mood. I need to update it though, because I'm running. Doesn't matter. Don't worry about what I was going to say. So these are. This is the updated bracket. Jdanzi won against DMusliM, or Ben. Well Played won against Rotterdam, so both got knocked out. They went to the lower bracket, which they had to play each other, and then WellplayedTV faced off against Jdanzi in a very good bout. Polania versus Polania, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. However, Jdanzi lost, so he got shoved to the lower bracket, but in the second seed because all these guys lost here. However, Rotterdam lost against the Muslim and had to face Jdanzi, who took that as well. So moving on, we're going to obviously have Well Played in the grand finals, who's going to play whoever wins tomorrow on Sunday. And we're going to be doing this all weekend, boys. All weekend. I thought my mic was muted for a second. Want a voice? Yeah. King Art Games and I are going to hop on voice right now. Chat for a little bit. Let's do this. Hello, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello!
Good, how are you, man?
Yeah, give me a second. Well, sound is way too high. What am I doing? Right, let me mute. Wait. I did not prepare for this.
It's alright. It's alright.
Yeah, there we are. Right,
yeah. Wait, introduce yourself to the stream.
Oh, hey guys, I'm your community manager, the Iron Doctor, aka the Sheep Wielder. Don't ask why I'm called these things.
I know why.
No, these are secrets. Insider knowledge. We move beyond these things. Anyway, yeah. So I'm with you for the whole weekend, alongside Sketchy and Tobi, and we'll be watching and chatting and typing. And my fingers hurt. I'm getting arthritis in my little finger.
Oh, you're taking down notes and stuff?
Yeah, of course. Nice. Taking down notes, replying to the questions, figuring out what works, what doesn't work, relaying that back to the design team. Yeah, and just generally enjoying the hype because, 4 days, people. 4
more days indeed. Oh, dude, it's so weird, you know, because obviously you've been following it because that's your job, but I've been following it for a couple of years now, but it feels like the time just flew by. Like,
oh, it's crazy. I mean, I really remember the beginning because actually my first job in computer gaming was with a different game and a different thing. But I remember sitting in that office with like 50 people when the first Kickstarter trailer came out, and we all stopped what we were doing and like watched that. This was over in Portsmouth in the UK and stuff. And we just like totally unrelated game, totally unrelated genre, and we were all just like, "Oh my god, that is going to be something." And then I suddenly found out 6 months later that, hey, they're in Bremen. And I was like, wait, I live there.
That's convenient.
So yeah, I dropped them a little line saying, hey, I'm the Iron Doctor and I do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Have you got space for me? And they were like, yeah, sure. Let's go for it.
That's awesome.
So, there we are. And yeah, it's been really fun watching you guys come along with this journey with us, with me as well, because I'm pretty as fresh as you guys are. Yeah. And this whole thing is snowballing, and yes, it's gonna happen. It's gonna get big.
Yeah, that's great. That's, I mean, you've been doing such a fantastic job, man. Like, honestly.
I try to do what I can, but seriously, it's got. As soon as we hit open beta, I had to be able to say to myself, okay, Doc, you can't do everything. This is too much going on.
It's alright. You got us, the community, supporting you, man.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate you guys' help, especially in the Discord, like answering questions and just filling in those gaps. Really helps out. And yeah, now we got all these new people coming from StarCraft, which is really nice. The StarCraft community is they seem quite a fun bunch, you know.
There's a good amount of feedback from them, but it was positive. You know, like they were very optimistic about the game, which was great to hear.
Sure, yeah. I mean, we've mainly been familiar with, the company Heroes 2 community. I guess they're the ones who have been injecting the most over the months or whatever. But those guys have their agenda, and so do the StarCraft people, I guess. But yeah, so far the positivity coming from the StarCraft group. Yeah. I think what they like is that compared to StarCraft, you really have to multitask. You really have to think about different parts of the map at the same time. Whereas from what I understand from the StarCraft competitive scene, it is kind of, fairly linear.
Yeah.
Because it's an older game, I think.
Check your Discord, please. Hold on. I think Tobi.
Oh.
Hey there. Want me and Lowko to call in? Let me figure out how to get them. Sure. How do you want me to call? Hold on. Just little side thing going on here.
Hello!
We can have 4 people in a call, right?
I think so. I don't know how to do a mouse call.
Okay.
Without cam. With? Works. For me. I have Doc here too.
They'll probably just tell me to go away.
I'm curious how they want to set this up. Hold on, boys. We're trying to get Lowko and Sir Tobi to talk about what we just saw.
I'm pretty sure you can. If you've got all of them as friends on your Discord, you should be able to call us all in one group call. If not, there's always Skype. Please bear with us. We are experiencing technical difficulties.
Seriously.
Normal streaming will resume shortly. Do not adjust your set. That's killing me.
We can all go into one of my seat now. That's the setup. Someone added you. Yes, they did. I got him. Super MRK. Hold on, Doc. I might be getting a call from them.
Sure, no. They should be able to call me as well, I guess. Well, Tobi at least. Anybody got any questions while we wait? Guess stream is mine now for 30 seconds.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, chat is yours for a while. So let's do this.
Alright, then.
I just got Tobi saying that we'll call you in a second, so I guess I'm gonna join their chat.
Sure, no worries. So Shader Ellipses wants to know if we're going to have any free-for-all maps coming on release. Well, I'm not sure about if it's going to be on release, but we've definitely got plans to modify the options in the multiplayer and skirmish so that will be possible. I'm just not entirely sure if it's going to be on release or not, because I don't want to speak for the designers. But we are definitely moving towards that, or you know, it's plans are afoot, as always. I'm hydrating, I'm drinking. Actually, I really need to go pee. Wait a second, one moment, guys.
Fellas, I'm here. I'm reading the chat, but at the same time, I'm trying to take care of this Lowko, Sir Tobi little call catch-up thing. So that's priority right now. But I am hydrating. Don't worry, we're gonna get this going. It's gonna be a little privilege here to be able to talk to those two. So stand by. I'm not in charge of it. Looks like one of their producers are setting this all up.
mind. Sorry, guys. We're just getting food in at the office because they're lovely and they're really taking care of us while we're all working extremely hard. So I had a difficult decision between burger and pizza. Yeah. Go on, chat. What should I have gone for, burger or pizza? Pizza? The Von says pizza. What kind of pizza? Oh, we've got 3 pizzas. Yeah, the company ain't gonna pay for me to have both. True. Oh, okay, it's neck and neck now. We've got 4 for each, pizza and burger. I don't know what kind of pizza is going to be. Surprise pizza. The best kind of pizza, in my opinion. Shader Ellipses, get out of here. We are not friends anymore. Just no. I can't even look at you in chat anymore. I just can't. Will the amount of victory points be added to the strat screen at the end of the game? It's a good point, actually. Yeah, that's good feedback. I hadn't really thought about that because you're kind of paying attention to it while you're playing. But yeah, that's something we can definitely look at. What is Capiconcia pizza, glorious robot bunny? I really have no idea. Oh, crap pizza. Well, Dr. Urkel is the famous pizza, you know, I say famous, infamous frozen pizza that you get here in the supermarket, and they do pasta pizza. And I'm just like, feel, every time I look at it, I just have super sympathy for the Italians, just like, carbs with your carbs. Can I have carbs? Yes, glorious robot. That's perfect. I love mushrooms. Sweet corn is also one of my favorite things, and yeah, can't go wrong with bacon. Although I have to admit, coming from Britain, and I've had many Germans confirm this, yeah, the bacon in Germany, Germany does very good meats, but when it comes to bacon, somehow British bacon is somehow better. It's like crispy. Whenever I get bacon here in Germany, it's always a little bit too floppy, too moist. You've got to have a little bit of crisp to it, I think. I'm really learning a lot about the community here through their pizza choices. The name of that hero be changed to avoid spoilers in the campaign. Ooh, I don't know. Let's not talk about that. Yeah, I don't know what it is, because Germany does do very good meat. I would say, in general, Germany does meat better than the UK, but just when it comes to bacon, there seems to be a discrepancy. There are no jokes here, Shaders, sorry. When it comes to pizza, it's... Dear Sheep Builder, I may be repeating Saul's question, but it comes from unawareness. Never mind. Anyway, if I got all season rewards in beta tester version, will I get them in the main game? So yes, actually I had this confirmed with a friend, Clone or Not. Actually, no, was it Clone or Not? I think it was Clone or Not. If he's in chat, he'll confirm. Yeah, we removed his backer version from... He had to remove his backer version from Steam, and then he downloaded the normal demo, and his progress saved and it carried over because it's associated with the Steam cloud. So long as you're accessing the game through the same Steam account, then your progress should carry on, and that's hopefully, yeah, exactly. Hey.
I'm gonna have to cut you off just for this segment, because I'm joining this call now.
Alright, no worries.
One sec. Hello. We are live streaming right now. What's up, man?
Yo, what's up, man?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
We're doing good. It's Tobi here, and next to me is my buddy Lowko.
What's up, guys? Hey. You guys are really low.
Oh, you're extremely loud in my headphones.
Oh, yeah?
I'm trying to, like, dial some things here, and hopefully that works, but... Should be able to get this, fixed,
yeah.
Hopefully.
It's last minute things. How's it going, guys?
There we go. I'm very well, how are you?
Good. Chat, can you guys hear them? Everything good? think so. I think we're good. Cool.
We don't see your beautiful face. We have your stream open, but
I can fix that. What's going on, guys?
I love your transitions, man. These transitions in stream are fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Good. Yeah.
What? That was some good games, man. That was some really good games.
Right. Jdanzi did, and well played, dude.
Yeah.
Well played. Really played well. I mean, the match with Jdanzi.
I still can't believe he has a name that's well played. Because it's just, you just accidentally say well played all the time.
Yeah, well played. You don't know if you mean it or if you want to call his name, so yeah. Yeah, that was great.
Anything you
Oh,
anything that
hello!
surprised you? What do you think about Polania main today? I was kind of surprised to see that actually.
Me and chat were actually talking about that. We saw a lot of Polanias being played, and that was not something we saw in the qualifiers at all. Polania was coming up, trying to finagle here and there. Troy tried his best, but got knocked out early by playing Polania. Eventually switched over. We did discover the meta of the double Strashnik later in qualifiers number 3, and then obviously we seen it being adapted during the finals. But not seeing the reserve 2 rush at all, because obviously some of these games are going to be shorter, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10-minute games. So you're probably never going to be able to see that reserves 2, maybe later once we get some crazier games. But yeah, the meta is definitely Polania opening, early Strashniks, and yeah, that's all we saw. And I was very curious if Jdanzi was going to whip out like a. Not Strashnik, but the Saxony or Rusviet during the Muslims games.
He had some wiggle room, right? Like
exactly. I thought he had a little wiggle room he could play with. Exactly.
I must confess, I was really surprised to see only Polania. I think wasn't the first match was there Saxony or something?
There was one Saxony. I think it might have been
one Saxony, right?
Rotterdam.
Very first one,
maybe.
Right? And then it was Polania only. That surprised me actually, really. But it was nice to see how the people played. The only tier 2 mech was actually the Tour. So
yeah.
Played by
as soon as it was seen, it was just immediately game over.
Yeah. I even said it. I was like, the second Jdanzi sees that Tour, he's gonna throw in the towel. Watch. And then, as you saw, it hits middle of the map, and it was just like, nah, I can't deal with this.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. He was well played. He was sitting on a bunch of resources, and he was just not spending them. I don't know.
He could have made it like a minute before. Yeah, maybe.
That's the thing. You guys announced that. You guys were like, "Oh, he's sitting on 1,000 iron." I was just like, it might be nerves. It might be, being at the level he's playing right now. But also, that tour costs 700 iron. So you need to wait until you hit that mark.
But tell me one thing, Sketchy. Why do you think Jdanzi left the flag unused? I mean, why did he do that?
I think his game plan was to win just by domination. I don't think he was
early rushing, right? He was sending his troops right into Wellplayed's house.
Exactly, and that's exactly why we kept seeing his Strashniks being shot down, his Shmiawa being lost. He's being super aggressive, trying to deny any resources early and try to eventually hit his HQ, but it didn't work out for him. So he didn't really worry about getting the VP victory. Instead, he was rushing just to bleed out the enemy or WellplayedTV.
Yep. He just accidentally won with that.
Yeah, pretty much.
We are talking with Lowko about that on stream. I mean, the inevitable, there was no other outcome than that. I mean, Wellplayed had 2 flags, and the
it seemed like a no-brainer, right? Like there's no reason. It was there for like 5 minutes, just standing there.
Maybe even more. And instead of taking his own flag, waiting for him to get captured, he went the long way. I mean, Wellplayed did it very good. He defended the middle lane, and it was like impossible for Danzi to go through.
Yeah.
And he tried the only reasonable move, in my opinion, to go to the other flag, to the flag on the other side. He got it for a second, but yeah, Wellplayed took it back.
I wonder if it's like, it could also just be a mistake, right? Like, I don't know. Do you actually think it's intentional? Yeah, I guess it could be, but it's just,
it could be.
Yeah.
I think it was
the flag, like intentional. It doesn't make sense for me.
Oh yeah, all you need to do is send an engineer there for like 20 seconds.
Yeah,
you'll have it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't take that much.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe the alternative was just domination for the entirety of the game. Like,
yeah.
I guess.
So today was good. Tomorrow, however, we're doing the same thing, right? Group B. Is there any insight? Because I'm not really aware of the other two that are joining the groups.
Oh, I know them very well. So first up, there's Todd.
Yes.
Todd's been like a top level Warcraft 3 player since like the beginning of the game, and then for I think like I don't know, like 6, 7, 8 years or something. He's basically commentated all the StarCraft 2 tournaments.
Oh wow, okay.
And he's been a long time, StarCraft 2 commentator, and he also played some poker at a high level for a while. So he's been doing a lot of strategy games for a long time. Then with like Reforged coming back, like Warcraft 3 Reforged that is, and the custom ladders and that, he's actually been playing that. So from what I've heard, he actually intends on winning like the I think it's called the Meisterschaft or something like that for Warcraft 3. I don't really know what the name is, but anyways, he intends on winning that, and I think he's like #1 on the ladder at this point in War 3, so he's extremely good.
Wow, okay.
So the only question is, right, like, for example, what DMusliM said during the games today is like, yeah, I've played, that's 20% more games right now. I've played one more game than I did previously. He only played like 6 games. I know that Todd can be extremely competitive, so I think he's been trying at least, a little bit more than that. So
just it's funny because I think the last couple of qualifiers, and I noticed that out of all the people that followed my channel, Todd followed. I was like, he's doing some research.
Yeah, no, he's trying.
Yeah. He's definitely out there lurking behind the scenes. Yeah.
He's not gonna sign up if he doesn't think he can win, or at least do well.
Yeah.
Did you Sketchy? Did you hear how Barbecue Man and Rotterdam
I like how you
saying
keep going
that they
in
were
Barbecue.
coached by Mixu and who was the other guy who was coaching them? Jdanzi. Was it Jan?
Yeah, Jdanzi gave him some tip against
the community's chiming in, trying to help them out. I thought that was actually pretty good. Obviously they're gonna face off against them, but trying to help them out a little bit, give them some insight on Iron Harvest. I think it's awesome.
That was really good. Barbecue Man actually in his second match, he actually did pretty good against Jdanzi. Of course, Jdanzi won easily, relatively. However, Barbecue Man did a great match, and I think his learning curve was actually going the right way. And we talked with Lowko about that, give him another 7, 8, 9, 10 matches, and he will be.
That's not even that much. It takes like 2 hours.
Exactly.
He will be definitely up there, the top ranks. Good guy.
And for Hero Marine, who's also playing, I think he might actually be coming by tomorrow, so that would be fun. But Hero Marine is actually like currently like a top level Terran player in StarCraft 2. So he's been around since like the early days in SC2 as well. So the other guys, like, they're mostly, when you start getting bad at StarCraft, you become a commentator, kind of like me. No, no, but like all kidding aside, like Hero Marine is actually like, it's hard to say exactly how highly someone would rank, but he's certainly top 10 outside of Korea.
Yeah.
Like certainly top 20 world. The guy's really good.
Good. I'm excited to see this then. And I wonder how their skills are going to adapt into this sort of game.
Yeah.
Which, as obviously we saw today, it didn't work out as well, but again, they might have been practicing.
Yeah. It comes down to practice, exactly. Like, I know for StarCraft 2, for example, like the new season has just begun like this week, so I don't know exactly how much time Hero Marine has had, but yeah, we'll see.
Cool.
Interesting. Any other surprises you saw there today?
No, I was actually pretty confident, especially on deserted tracks. We're gonna see double Strashnik openers. Tomorrow though, I'm sure we're gonna see a surprise or two.
I hope so. Especially we have the German guys joining the battle as well. We have a community guy. I forget his nickname now, but I will track it down. He will be joining us in Cologne actually.
Oh,
and
really?
he's actually from day one. He's a Kickstarter backer, and
Wow.
that makes my
he's gonna
heart
be joining
melt.
us on stream.
Yeah,
awesome.
he won't probably not sit here with us, but he will sit in Cologne. Maybe we will talk to him like
he's like in a
an
coffee
interview.
shop down the road.
I mean, we don't have obviously no more space here on stage. However, we will definitely have him on camera and have a live interview with him or something. That melted my heart to see community from day one getting to the finale.
Yeah.
That's great. That's really, really good. And yeah, there's a lot of money waiting in the end of the tunnel. So cool.
Speaking of money, Twitch Prime. No, wait, hold up. No, this is your stream. Sorry.
I just heard that it's Siron.
I
Siron
didn't.
is the name.
Whatever.
Wait, it's not Twitch Prime. Sorry, it's Prime Gaming. Everyone.
Yeah, I switched it up.
Yeah.
Sketchy, do you know Siron? Ever played with him? Saw him?
Against who again?
Siron is one of the winners of the tournament. I forget which one it was, but he's the dude I was talking about who will be joining us.
Oh yes, Zyron is
Zyron.
coming. Yes. Me and him. Yes, totally. I didn't connect the two, but yes, Zyron, who won the qualifiers, number 3, rushing with Polania, reserve 2 heavy. So you know, again, you might get some surprises tomorrow. But yeah, he's the one who's showing up. Yes.
Yeah, see, so you are in fact well informed. Cool. Nice to see that.
Do you know, by any chance, like that's on my mind ever since you mentioned it, Tobi, but do you know why the Korean pro or the Korean player has a Finnish nickname? I can't figure it out. I'm trying to come up with a reason.
Sketchy, you know everyone, so
yes,
that is a negative. I actually don't and have not talked much to Jdanzi, or however you say that, but I do know that he's in chat. Oh, Utelainen, but I do know he's in my chat.
Wait, he's in chat right now?
He is. Yeah. I mean, he chimes in from time to time.
I don't need the whole story, but I want to just have like a little bit of information.
How about this? How about before tomorrow's game, I'll have an answer for you guys.
All right, that works for me.
That would be very nice.
Yeah.
I won't be able to sleep tonight, but
I'll try to DM you as soon as I find out.
Sketchy, thank you very much for your time.
Hey, thank you guys.
That was pretty cool, pretty fun.
Oh,
Day
hello!
1 was good.
Absolutely.
Some surprises. We had the Polania main that was super interesting. Really didn't expect that. Really didn't. I wonder where that comes from. And I'm very looking forward to tomorrow. And if you are cool with that, let's talk again tomorrow after day 2.
Yeah, let's do a wrap up.
Any other surprise?
Sure.
Waiting for us.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good, man. Yo, thanks for your time.
Sketchy.
Hi, man.
Have a great stream, and thank you for being with us.
Thanks, fellas. Y'all take it easy.
Take care.
Boys. How cool is that? That was pretty cool of them. Some good guys, man.